the Six Screens Telenetwork, earning the reputation of giving all the right ingredients, uninhibited, in exposing the hard, cold facts about the Watchtower Society. And now, the end is near.
Well, hello, everyone. It is now December 25th. I want to wish you all a Merry Christmas. And we have got Linda James coming on, your favorite apostate. Well, she's coming on here tonight, and she's going to be doing a great job. We're looking forward to her program, and she's coming in from Southern California. But, you know, I mentioned to Linda today, you know, she's quite the singer. She loves to sing. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring Linda on, and then we're going to play a song that she has sung. Now, this is a beautiful song. So let's listen to the song. This is a song by Linda James, Apostate Babe.
Are you hearing the song, Rick? Oh, he's putting it up for me. Oh, this is so cool. Okay, they can hear it. Can you hear the song? Are you still listening to the show? Okay.
Yeah, are you on? Like you?
He's starting the show with my song, Mary, Did You Know? And I'm looking at it, but I can't hear it from where I'm sitting. And then you just stopped it in the middle for some reason. So that should be going on in the other room. Otherwise, we're going to get feedback.
Yeah.
Thank you. You can hear it. Okay, good. So I'm not connected to the callers, probably. We'll see. Because he has me live. I asked YouTube audience if they could hear me, and they can. And they're giving me compliments. So, yeah.
Well, Linda, I don't know where you took off to, but you disappeared on us. But we played the song, people could hear it. But
Okay.
Back on, where are you now, Linda?
I believe I'm on the show with you.
Right, I can't see you though.
You can't see me?
No.
That's interesting because I'm looking at a screen where it shows both of us. So you must be somewhere else.
Well, let me
No,
see.
I see you and I see the screen with both of us, but on YouTube, I don't see the screen with both of us, do I?
Well, let me
So
get you.
that's quite confusing.
Okay,
You
let's get.
do.
No, there you are. Okay.
Okay, you
back
found
up.
me?
Yeah, I
Cool,
found
you
you.
found
Yeah.
me.
All right, so you're all set now.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Thank you.
we found you. Yep.
Okay, that makes sense of why I couldn't hear the song. I was thinking, why can't I hear it? But okay, that's great.
But I think everybody else could hear it. Yeah. So it's just a
Good,
little
good, good.
system. Yeah. So, anyways,
Thank
there
you.
you are. We got a pasta babe on with us. So I'm here, Linda, if you need me. So just take the program away and see what you can do.
Okay. Hello, everyone. This is Apostate Babe Linda James, and I'm your favorite apostate. And I just wanted to let you know that I am giving you a form of brainwashing because I'm trying to convince you that I am your favorite apostate. And if I say it enough times, you can be convinced. So I do this jokingly. I do it ethically because I let you know I'm doing it. and we all know that if we're trying to memorize something, we would repeat it over and over in our heads to memorize it, right? And even back in the day of ministry school, you would hear when we would get graded for the different talks that we would do, we would hear things such as repeating for emphasis. So there's that emphasis. When I introduce myself to you, I let you know that I'm your favorite apostate. So there's that, and that's why I do it. So today we have gone from Christmas Eve into Christmas Day, and we had a Christmas show so far all throughout the day, and I've really been enjoying it. And let me just say, I'm really jealous about Gail. How the hell she got Cultastic on her show is amazing, and I didn't get her on my show, but it's a good kind of jealous because I'm totally stoked that Gail did have her on the show because she's one of my favorite YouTube creators. Her and JW Thoughts have a side to them that are so incredibly talented. I really want to encourage all of you to go to their channels. So one is Ryan Cultastic, and the other one is JW Thoughts. And subscribe. If you spend some time there looking at their videos and it just rubs you the wrong way, then you don't have to stay there. But I happen to think they're like amazing. So there's that. And I heard a lot of laughter today because we had shows throughout the day. I heard a lot of joy today and talking about Christmas and how we have developed it to be our own. We've made it our own. We've given it our own traditions. There was a few really funny Christmas stories. And at the same time, I know that today can be a very tough day for society at large. So I would think even those of us in the XJW community and or present Jehovah's Witnesses would be having a hard time with this particular day, Christmas Day. And I tend to think, and I could be way off, please let me know. I tend to think it's because we have this vision of how Christmas is supposed to look, okay? And it could come from, we have this vision of how Christmas is supposed to look, okay? So now I'm hearing an echo of myself, which is really odd. But anyway, so that seemed to stop, so I'm going to keep going. So we could have this vision of how we think it's supposed to look from commercials, from movies we've seen in the past, looking at neighbors, people we've known, and how it works or how it looks for them. But the fact is, those of us that were in the organization, especially from any time of childhood, which, by the way, if you came into the organization during any time of your upbringing, your cult specialists consider that a second generation. It's almost the same as being born in, because it affects our developmental years. So going back to, if we didn't have any Christmases in our past, we kind of don't even have anything to draw upon. We don't have traditions that we can bring forward. But what we can do is develop our own traditions, develop our own specialties. We can do traditional Christmas dinners, or we can make it a pizza, for food, or anything. We can make it something different every year. But what I was really wanting to get to was, this is a very tough time mentally and emotionally, and there's people out there that are hurting. And I just wanted to tap in with you to ask you how your day has gone. If you have plans for tomorrow, or if you don't, will you be accompanying any family members or any friends? What's going on with you, and how are things going for you? Because basically, I just want to support you in what you're experiencing. And if you're like way depressed, I don't want to support you in being way depressed.
Great.
But
Perfect Easter, perfect Christmas food.
Oh, I missed that, Pixie. What?
I said pizza is red and green. I guess that would be the perfect Christmas food.
It definitely could. And it's treating yourself. It's giving yourself a break from doing the cooking, which gives you some people absolutely love to cook. But if you don't, and you want to spend more time with your family, more time with your friends, why not order out? Or why not get one of those prepared meals from the market that all you have to do is warm it up? It's about getting to be with family and friends. And if you don't get to be with family and friends, I want to encourage you to do things for yourself that is in the form of self-love, self-care. Treat yourself to a nice day. However that would look to you. Your idea of a nice day could be motorbike riding. It could be taking long baths and, watching a series on Netflix, or just any kind of specials that come on TV, listening to different shows. Whatever that is to you, make it that for you tomorrow. If you don't have plans to be with family or friends, because you're actually worth it. The bottom line about Christmas, whether we are a believer of the Bible or not, is that it's a time for us to really value the gifts that Christ has given us. And if we don't believe in Christ, to really take time out and reflect on how we have been, given gifts, or how we can give. So if we get a chance to go serve in a soup kitchen, or we get a chance to give somebody that we know who always admired a certain thing that we have, we get to give that to them. And we know it's going to bring them joy. There is a place of enjoyment in giving. Go ahead.
Hey, Linda, how you doing?
Good. Hi. How are you? Is this Mark?
Yes, it is. It's Mark Taft. It's been a long, long time. How are you, Miss Linda James? I hope you're doing very well in every good way. I just wanted to call in, say hello. Hope you're doing great. I want to wish you a very Merry Christmas, and I hope you get a chance to celebrate it some way, somehow, and everyone else does too. I want to wish you and all the XJWs out there a very Merry Christmas, a very Happy New Year, and try to make the best of it, and just do your best to have the opportunity to celebrate it, okay? Because there's no shame in celebrating holidays, especially Christmas, okay? No shame at all. And I don't want anybody to feel that shame like I used to back when I was younger.
Right.
Holidays. I'm sure most, even current Jehovah's Witnesses, as well as ex-Jehovah's Witnesses, feel pretty ashamed, and they feel bad, because I'm sure they do want to celebrate the holiday, no question about it. But the sad part is the way everyone was raised into it, and and just brainwashed and had their minds very poisoned by the teachings of the bullcrap Watchtower. That's just that's how we came out, and that's why I never celebrated it too much, even after I left the Jehovah's Witnesses, because I still felt, well, it still might be a bad holiday to celebrate, and God may not approve it all. But it's just it's the Watchtower and the Jehovah's Witnesses and the governing body talking their bullcrap, stuff, and it's we know it's all a big joke by the Watchtower, and just well, I was just going to mention briefly that a friend of mine who's not a JW, but I've known for many, many, many years, and he's a very respectful person named Ted. I saw him earlier today, and we had a great visit. And I even gave him a Christmas gift and all that to do something good. And he mentioned to me he has seen videos on YouTube about the testimonials against the Jehovah's Witnesses. And he has seen all that, ex-JWs talking and giving their testimonies about them. He said it's mind-blowing. It's unbelievable. It's very shocking even in a lot of ways. And he did see videos of that guy, Jeffrey Jackson, and he thought Jeffrey Jackson was a total, complete Looney Tune idiot. I mean, a Looney Tune he thought Jeffrey Jackson was. Because the biggest guy who made no sense whatsoever. The guy doesn't make any sense. He can't get his senses right. He's totally confused. He doesn't know what time of day it is. He doesn't know what year or his own name. The guy is so mentally confused. He can't even get half his senses, or even a third of his senses even right. I mean, oh my God!
And are you talking about like the time? Are you talking about like the time that he was on the Australian Royal Commission? The answers he was giving, like, is that one. Okay? Yeah.
Yeah, that's one. But he's seen many. He's been a few other videos of this guy. He said the guy's a total Looney Tune. The guy's an idiot. He's one of the biggest idiots, screwball, ding-dongs, mentally retarded screwballs he ever saw in his whole life. And I totally agree with him. So, there you have it. And he's fully aware of the Jehovah's Witnesses, who they are, what they're all about. And he even told me, even though he's never been in the religion, he had absolutely positively no respect at all for the Jehovah's Witnesses ever. He's known some in his lifetime. He's never respected them. He's never taken time to, when they come to his door, to talk to him. No, nothing. I mean, he knows clearly that they are absolutely positively no good. So that was really good to know, and I'm glad he saw who the governing body is and what they're really all about, and that they're a joke. They're one of the biggest jokes I've ever seen, and he agreed.
Okay.
So
wow.
You on that, Linda.
Thank you. It's really good to hear your voice, Mark, and I'm really glad you chimed in tonight.
I gave up for a while. Thank you.
And that's okay.
I kind of gave up for a little while, but I decided to get back in and say hello. It's Christmas. I want to say hello to everybody out there, and hope they're doing very well in every good and positive way, and to make the best of holidays. Please, by all means, celebrate Christmas, celebrate New Year's, celebrate all the holidays. I personally wouldn't recommend Halloween. I don't recommend Halloween at all. That is a satanic holiday, but all the other holidays are perfectly fine, and everyone should celebrate them and have fun and make the best of them. Absolutely, 100%.
Halloween is favorite because it goes back to my Scottish ancestors.
How so? Thank you, Mark, for those suggestions. But go ahead, Pixie, on how it goes back to your ancestors.
Well, Halloween was Samhain. It was a Celtic holiday. It was a Celtic New Year, and it had nothing to do with a Judeo-Christian Middle Eastern devil at all.
Oh, interesting.
Celtic Scottish people.
That's right, and, Harvest Festival.
And it goes back to the early days of Scotland and the British Isles. So for my family, before they were witnesses, it was a big deal. But the Americanization of it, the pumpkin is a big deal, and you carve it and you put a candle in it, or now you put a safe lantern in it. But
yes,
in olden times, they would carve a turnip, and it is very hard to carve a turnip. So Europe's gone crazy recently for the pumpkin. Europe thinks pumpkins are great. They're kind of new in the last 20 years, and French farmers are growing pumpkins.
Wow, that is so enlightening to hear. I didn't know any of this that you're telling me. And wow, that's really intriguing.
Yeah.
Thank
But
you for that.
of course now, there's all kinds of scary Hollywood movies and of course other cultures and other
Hmm.
stories, and it's for kids and all like that. But originally, it was a Celtic harvest fertility festival of the ancient Celtic people.
Oh, interesting. Fertility. Okay. So,
Well, because
and that's before it was
I can't wait to finish this book, God and Anatomy, because it was not unusual in the 1930s time for families to have 7 or 10 children. And before
Yes.
that, sometimes women would have 13 children. It was a big deal when Margaret Sanger invented birth control because women were dropping over from exhaustion, having unlimited families.
Yes. And
So
yeah, that's very true.
People don't do that. But the flip side of that is if you have a farm, fertility is real important to your land, your crops,
Yes, it is.
to feed your community, and also to have children to work the land. So
Yes,
that's all been skewed in modern days as well.
that's true. That's very true.
I'm sitting here wishing I'd had some children. The Watchtower was not keen on fertility and reproduction. Oh, how I wish I had some children and grandchildren. My classmate from second grade, she had a child out of wedlock, but now her child grew up to have 5 children, and now she's a great grandmother. So
wow.
wasn't a mistake or an error. She was just a little young to handle it, and it worked out beautifully, and she became a mother, a grandmother, and now a great grandmother.
Wow, that's amazing. Now, do you think the organization, in the way that they suggested things at certain times, motivated you not having children, or might it have been other reasons?
I think a lot. Well, for me, it was complex, but I think for a lot of sisters at that time, a lot of the literature did discourage it.
Yes, it did.
A lot of it did discourage it, and it did change a lot of people's lives. Just the way they discouraged saving for retirement.
Yes.
I mean, when I have my top 10, where I note, of course, the abuse of children, my second, I note the abuse of women. And in that is that these women did not have agency over their own life and retirement and destinies.
Right.
And the blood doctrine kills many pregnant women and other members as well. And
yes.
Some of these doctrines are very dangerous. And of course, I've talked about how they tried to extort our home and they tried to extort money from seniors. So the age groups across the board, from youth to age, this group is not a safe place.
I agree with you. And it's so subtle that it's hard to notice when somebody gets involved with this group at first, because of the way it's presented, with the paradise and the whole God's going to have his government rule everything. And it's, of course, going to be so much better than the earthly government. And we look forward to that. And so I really understand. So when it's presented to us as to wait until the new system to have children, why would we want to bring up children in this old system of things when Armageddon is so close? This was understandable and convincing statements. And even Brother Rutherford, the pseudo Judge Rutherford, he had a book named Children. And there was an assembly that he held, right? And he had it set up in a way that all the children would get to sit like in the center, and get to receive his book named Children. And they walked, they all got their book individually and walked around with it. So, like it was a great thing at this assembly, and encouraged them to not have children. He encouraged the children to not have children, you know.
Correct. You are absolutely spot on with this reporting of how that went. And that was in the 40s. And he was telling those people not to make families.
Correct. Which in
And
actuality, that would shoot them in the foot, because we need the kids to grow up and become members too. But the more that we're not a family.
And it kept going. It kept going. And they do not promote into the missionary service couples. There have been a couple cases where they left the missionary service, had families, and came back. There's one case, and there was another missionary family where he was a physician, and his whole family went, I think, to South America or something. But there are only two cases I can think of like that. I heard a missionary say to his wife, they visited us, and someone had a brand new baby, and she was this beautiful Latin sister, and she was hugging that infant, and then she handed it back to the parents, and her tall, sandy-haired husband turned to her, and I heard him say, "If we do that, we can't do this."
Exactly. It's either one or the other. And the one, which is this, is kingdom interests. It's for God. For God, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's presented as being almost selfish, you know?
And even though you think when you're young it's not something you're going to want to do, you'll notice that straight women, gay women, you get to a certain age, and this is a biological thing that you want to do in most cases.
Yes, and I was never someone looking forward to growing up and having kids, but I ended up being blessed with them as lovely surprises, right? and
right.
I have
the biological imperative at a certain age.
Oh yeah.
Biologically overriding even what you thought your destiny, what you wanted for your destiny. And so then you don't have them or can't have them, or you've been in a religion that said, you know, not to do this thing. It's painful for a lot of these sisters that have had that destiny.
You're right, Pixie. And I remember distinctively back, you know, around 1975, you know, I was a child, and I remember some of the sisters from the hall specifically postponing having their children until the new system. You know, I would see them get married.
Here I am in retirement. My family are dead, and I'm sitting here alone, and I have no brothers and sisters, and I have no offspring. So here I am. And the neighbors are going to take me in for a lavish dinner tomorrow, and it'll be wonderful. But
that's beautiful.
It's great, but it's not the same as having family. Because I grew up, my mother was from a big family. I know what that is. I know what it is to be related to everybody at the table. It's not the same, people.
Yeah.
God, I saved retirement. Where would I be? Also, I think of these sisters that, like me, they don't have the children. But unlike me, they didn't save for retirement. Where are they?
Yeah, I didn't do the save for retirement either. I didn't.
But maybe you've got kids that maybe someday you can live with them or they'll help you. At least I've got heat, and I know I'm going to have heat in my life until my last day here on earth. But what about these sisters that don't have the kids and don't have the money for the heat?
Yes. You know, in my studies of different cultic groups, this is a common thread. The members are taught to either not have children, or when they do have children, hand them over to daycare right away so that they can get back into working for the cult. And however it's presented, like to us in the organization, it was for Jehovah, right? And how do you compare? And the way they present everything, you know, it's like, you're doing it for this, or are you doing it for God? So you always pick God, right?
Well, story. I had a dear friend who owned a bookstore, and she married a classmate of mine in college. And they had this beautiful wedding. They were this beautiful couple. Her mother made this beautiful wedding for them. Well, his side of the family were very smart like he was, but his brother was high up in the Hare Krishna.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And this was wild, because the journalistic part of me, I wanted to meet this guy. He put on a suit that he hadn't worn in years. He was still the same size, so he could attend his brother's wedding in this suit that he wore pre-cult.
Wow.
Okay. So he took off these Hindu clothes and put his suit on, and his wife had street clothes, and normally she would have a silk sari or something. Their daughter came. She was a beautiful blonde girl, but she was dressed like a Hindu girl. And I said, oh, you have a beautiful daughter. Yes, I know. I haven't seen my daughter since she was an infant. She's been in the school daycare of the church ever since.
Oh, my God. Let me just say this. The purpose of cults is not just tearing the family apart, but replacing the family.
Yes, and so he was a writer for the Hare Krishna, or one of the head honchos. His wife, they were together, but their child had been raised by the cult in a different place.
Yeah. And I can only imagine what the daughter was doing as she was being raised up, because just from what I've learned from some Scientology, the kids are raised in like a different area. And some of them are like, they put them to work, like building the street, putting bricks down on the street, like hard work. So, which kids at that age,
in a lot of these cults, when the children are not with the parents to protect them.
yeah, they get a lot of work out of the parents, but unknowingly to most people, they get a lot of work out of the children too. And they've successfully separated them, you know?
Right. So that was a strange dynamic.
It is. There's this terminology the organization uses that is, I've been hearing so much lately, and I've heard it for a while, where a devout Jehovah's Witness will tell, a child or a family member that, he's either no longer a member or never has become a member. I love you dearly, but I love Jehovah more. And that's their,
I've heard that all my life.
That's their ticket to just diss them. Too. Yes. And it sounds so noble, but what it really means is, I'm fine with cutting you off. I'm fine with you not being important in my life anymore. When in actuality, there's different levels. Like there's if a husband and wife would have their level, and then the children's level. So you can't compare the children to the your partner. They're on a different realm, and there's different levels of importance and places and placement. I kind of have a loss for words right now, but I know you know what I mean. So they're taking advantage of this.
I know one where the parent was going to take the child and raise it as a witness. It's like that was the principle of that, was break up the marriage, but make sure you get the kid.
Absolutely. They have a book set aside that was written for that purpose, for the purpose of the followers of the organization to successfully, break away from the, say, unbelieving partner, and then make sure that they can get custody of the child. There's a whole little packet book written for when the partner who has the kid and the kid to speak when they're dealing with the judge. And it says stuff like, basically, AKA don't act too culty. I'm not quoting it. I'm giving it my definition, right? Don't act too culty.
I was looking at I was throwing out some journals this week, because every year I always, kind of reassess my life this time of year and get new journals and go through stuff, and it's kind of fun for me. And I was looking at that, And, you know, you and I had talked a lot about narcissism, and you had a lot of valuable information about the narcissistic personality. And then I was recommending Snakes in Suits, which was a
Yes.
business book, but it explained how these bosses are narcissists.
Mm-hmm.
And my note says, what has that person, you know, how we become codependent and we're looking out for their needs, or we're always trying to placate the narcissist or make them laugh or take care of them or bring them a gift. And my note says, it had a key point. It says, what has that person done to meet your needs?
Right. Such an
Really?
foreign thought, right?
Yeah, and really, these churches of Christendom, some of them do a very fine job of meeting the parishioners' needs.
Yes. Yes.
And I'm like, well, the elders weren't meeting my needs. The Kingdom
Is-
Hall, I'd go there, and I didn't feel refreshed at the end. I felt drained, and they wanted me to work more and jump through more hoops. And I've been jumping through hoops my whole life because I worked hard in corporate, and now I'm in retirement. I'm so relaxed. I'm getting well. I'm feeling better. I spent my whole life jumping through somebody else's hoop. I didn't even own the hoop.
Yes. Yes. And hasn't it been fascinating what has motivated us to do these things, you know?
You know, those, you probably are too young to remember, but they used to have a vaudeville show where they'd have a hoop and this little dog would jump through it and everybody would applaud.
Yes. Yes.
That's what it's like being growing up as a witness. It's like you're the dog jumping through the hoop, and it's not even your hoop.
Exactly. So if you've heard of the Pavlovian dog, that's how we get trained in the organization.
The dog where the bell rings and the dog comes to eat. Well, this
Yes.
was worse because you have to jump the hoop to get to the food.
Yep. Yep. But we learn to obey.
2-3 times a week. Just there's the hoop, and there you jump.
Yep. And that's, you know, exactly. And that's very typical of, you know, abusive partners or group leaders, that they're going to just wear you down.
Yeah.
Squeeze everything out of you, you know?
You know, and I think about all the other people. Now I'm out of it. I'm sitting here relaxing, and I'm thinking, all the other people, my parents' friend, my other witness little friend there in the congregation, all the people I didn't know that were not the top tier ones that had all the parts on the meeting. What about all those kind of mediocre witnesses that stayed at tent all the time, and you remember their names, and they weren't that great at speaking, and they weren't the flashiest ones. Well, you know what?
Right.
They went through too. Brother Albert went through it too.
And you know what?
Through it. And maybe they didn't go through it as well as I did.
Possibly. Yeah, possibly. I remember finding out that I was part of the spiritually weak because my dad was in and out of the truth, mostly out. So
and they'd say, well, she's spiritually weak. I'm like, no, she's sick in bed.
Oh yeah.
You know, but
I have to really I've come to, you know, hear you over the phone, and we've had the chance to talk over many shows, and you've sent me a few messages through Messenger and a few links and this and that and the other. And I remember you came into Six Screens as a part of Reese's audience and enjoyed his shows, you know, and then you would stick around and listen to what other shows too. And let me just say, over this time, I have really enjoyed what you contribute to this show. I've heard you say a few times, I've heard you talk like something clicked, and it helped you see things in a different way, more peaceful way. So it's been enjoyable to have you in my life. And I'm just very thankful to you. And I hear you bring up stuff that I can tell you've made some new connections with. I cannot tell you how encouraging that is to me. And thank you for that.
Thank you. As women, as witnesses, we couldn't even stand up to speak. We had to sit at a table to speak. And
Yeah.
for me, I grew up where I was either too talkative or would go days and not talk at all.
Yeah.
And even with the college work that I have, and even with the things that have happened to me in life, it feels good to be able to stand up and find your own voice. And this is what I say to all the women out there who've been witness sisters. Stand up, take a breath, and find your own voice.
Hey, Dixie. Dixie.
Hey, Debbie.
Hey, I just wanted to say ditto to what Linda said.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. I've learned a lot from you, and the more I've gotten to know you, even though you've seen me probably. I haven't, if you saw me on the...
Mm-hmm. I saw you in your room there, and you look just like I imagined.
Really?
Really?
I wish I could see you. Wonder if you look how I imagine.
I don't know. I look like Sharon Stone on a bad day.
Well, we all have days. I'm trying to just be positive and be happy, and no matter how bad things seem to get, I never see things can't get worse, because things always get worse.
Well, one day at a time. I find that is a good phrase to use. One day at a time.
Sometimes 1 minute.
Sometimes.
And it could get better.
I mean,
it could always get better.
I can actually laugh almost about what happened, although it's going to be very difficult.
Well, you have to have humor or you'll go nuts. That's truth.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't have humor, you'll go like clinically nuts. I'm convinced.
Oh, I know. Been there. Done that.
That's the only thing that's kept me going in life is I have a very, how would we describe it, Linda?
Well,
I have a razor sharp kind of twisted humor.
It's been fun, though.
Yeah, I feel like that sometimes.
It's been fun listening to it.
Improv, so I've enjoyed the radio show, and maybe I'll stay around for another year. I keep threatening to quit, but
I know, and I never tell anybody that you do. But at the same time, that's too funny. But at the same time, it's good to take a break every so often.
Radio also, and TV.
Are you asking me? What did you say?
Linda was a hairdresser. Linda should go to school to be a psychologist because she's already a hairdresser.
Oh, that's what I was going to ask her.
Thank you.
You have a talk show and I just missed it somehow.
She has one now. She has one now. She's doing great.
Thank you for that encouragement, because
it wasn't so late sometimes. I have a hard time connecting every week to this show. For some reason, I can't pick it up on my computer.
Okay.
On my phone. I try every which way, and I have to go to Rick Barron Live, Rick Barron Six Screens, all the search things that I have to do. And then sometimes if I wait 20 minutes or an hour, I can click in, but otherwise, I just don't get the signal for it, and I don't know why.
What happens when you call in, Debbie? By using the phone number.
I call into it usually.
Okay. Then you can hear it.
But my battery goes dead really fast on this house phone.
Okay.
I'm on my house phone right now.
Okay. This is
But
understandable. Yeah.
today I heard a really loud noise when I went in my bathroom. And I was like, what on earth is that? And I checked to make sure the water was still running and everything, because I've had to leave it streaming. Because even today, the high was only 16 and it's 10 degrees now.
So you leave it streaming so the pipes don't freeze up?
And everything. And I kept thinking, but there's something wrong. Because behind the wall, between the washing machine and the bathroom, there was just this really loud noise. And I kept thinking, God, that sounds like a waterfall. And then I got to looking and I saw water just seeping in from my floor. I'm like, wait a minute. No. And I called my daughter and my son-in-law they came down here, and she says, Mom, the water main going under your house is busted, and you have a skating rink in your backyard. It was like, and a frozen waterfall. And they said, we're going to have to get a hold of somebody with the city to come out and bring a key to turn off the water main, because Larry don't have a key anymore. But they ended up going and getting some of his old tools, which were probably $10,000 worth, and they got the water main turned off. So I have no water whatsoever except what I've got in bottles, And fortunately, I bought 2 or 3 cases the other day of bottled water to drink, because I don't use the water here. And
now it's snowing there in Nebraska, isn't it? Or there's been snow lately?
It was too cold to snow, actually. It was snowing when I was making my live video the other night. And that's when I could almost laugh at what happened to me, is because on that video I was showing the snow squall and everything. And I was shaking it like an idiot. I opened the door and was holding the phone looking out. And it's showing everybody how the snow looked. And it was, wind chill was minus 51 degrees. And I'm standing there with the stupid door open. But I did everything right about making sure the pipes were wet, but you can't go inside your walls. You have to clear them out to do it. And I was telling everybody, make sure you wrap your pipes, make sure you keep your water dripping. If it's under freezing, leave it streaming, not just dripping. And you're hot and you're cold, because the hot water will freeze faster than the cold water. And
that's amazing.
Anyway, it's just, I told everybody all of this stuff on live on Facebook. And then whose pipes freeze? And how on earth would I know that the pipes in the middle of the house between walls could break? I couldn't believe it. And I'm like, well, just another day in paradise. What can I do? I have no insurance because I can't insure this mobile home, because number one, it's a mobile home. But you can't get automobile insurance on it, and you cannot get homeowners insurance on it. And even if I could, it's a 1972 trailer home or mobile home. Okay, and of all people you would think would have plenty of insurance would be me, because I was an insurance agent. And I help people with all this. I used to be. And I used to help people with all of this stuff. And I was insurance poor because, I mean, I had everything insured. Even my grandbabies, from the time they were 30 days old, I insured them so they would have life insurance forever. And that way they wouldn't have to qualify for insurance if they got sick. They would already have it. You know, because you can't usually get pre-existing conditions covered on life insurance. But I did life insurance, health insurance, car insurance, homeowners insurance, everything. And I was just getting my license and everything in stock to be a, I don't know, like a trader, stock trader and all that stuff. When my son had the brain AVM rupture in his head. And that was essentially the end of my career, you know, because life got turned upside down. And then
because you're a good mother. That's why.
Just stopped.
Yeah, that's because you're a good mother. That's what mothers do. they do that.
Well, you wouldn't know that to hear my daughter. It really bothers me, but I try, like Dixie was saying, I got a different kind of humor. Now I try to let everything just roll off my back and not come back with something, you know, I don't come back with something sharp or like I used to. I've learned just, you know, hey, look, because she's angry at everything, and I'm thinking, oh my God, she's turning into who I was.
Oh, do you remember being like that? Do you remember having a time when you were always, like it was very obvious that you were angry all the time?
Yeah, it was after I moved here.
Okay.
From down south. And I mean, my grandkids, my youngest one they were 9, 11, and 13. And my daughter's 43, but she still, you know, brings up stuff that happened when she was 10. Susie talked a little bit about that earlier.
Not good to hold on to a grudge that long. I had a family member that was doing that, and a person mentioned something to me that was very helpful, a little phrase. Because I can, you know, I like to be accurate. But he said, do you want to be right or do you want to be happy?
Absolutely. That phrase changed my life. Right. 4 words.
Do you want to be right or do you want to be happy? And I thought about that, and you know, I do like accuracy, but sometimes I'll just keep my mouth shut, take a deep breath, and step back a step. Yeah, and let the other person do what they're going to do, but don't fan the flames of what they're doing because it will just make it worse.
Yeah, that's what I finally learned. Just shut up, you know. Just shut up.
To learn it, and I had to learn it. Do you want to be right or do you want to be happy? And the other one I just learned, which is very helpful. The Dalai Lama has had a lot of grief and pain in his life, and he lost a country. Now, a lot of us we love, but he lost a country and his mom. And he said, don't cling.
Yeah. The other one that is resentment is like drinking poison and waiting for the other person to die.
Yeah. And the Dalai Lama, as far as losing things and grief and countries and his family and everything, he says, don't cling.
I love
so you wouldn't have
Dalai Lama.
Don't cling.
Yep. I have all these great books that I don't have anymore because Tina said she got books when we left, but she didn't get any of my books that I just loved. And I didn't get to bring my snowman collection, and I didn't get to bring my book collection when I moved here.
I've given thousands of dollars of books to the library this year in the move. I like YouTube videos that have quotes from people and tips of how to do, and I find YouTube has better than any book I've read.
Oh, I watch YouTube more than anything. When you tell me about those books that were free on YouTube also that you can listen to.
Aren't they great?
Yeah. But I just I have a hard time reading now. I just my up close vision is bad. It's just now I can see far away, but I just can't see up close. You know.
I hear it. Yeah, it's people skills. Naturally, some people have better people skills than others. Linda has such good people skills, and hairdressers and bartenders are better than most shrinks.
Oh yeah.
Thank you. I think the organization helped me in being a hairdresser because it's like a lot of customers would come in that I didn't know. So starting a conversation with someone I didn't know, I think the organization helped me do that growing up through the Theocratic Ministry School. You knock on somebody's door and start a conversation with somebody you didn't know, right? So I think that really supported me.
What makes me the insurance sales.
Yeah.
You know?
Did it?
I mean, my brother became a politician after being a witness, you know,
Wow.
and a banker, a liar and a thief. No, he's not bad. He's not bad. That's what I used to tell him.
Well, I know I was top in sales at one point in my life. I have to thank the Theocratic Ministry School.
Right. I ended up, they had a competition at one of the salons I worked for that if you could sell a certain product, which was product by Tony and Guy. So Tony and Guy is like the Vidal Sassoon of that time, maybe 15 years ago. If you sell enough product by this brand, you're going to earn an educational class, which would have cost me $800. And hairdressers like to keep up with the trends and, keep up with their education of choice, right? So I won this $800 Tony and Guy class, and I had a blast. And I know that helped me. The Theocratic Ministry School helped me get that. It really did.
Wow.
We were taught to be salespeople.
When I really got started selling insurance, I used to run. I used to be an executive assistant to two national sales directors. So I ran an entire office of people, in sales agents. And everybody kept telling me, why don't you sell insurance? And I thought, well, I didn't want to until I started being headhunted. And this one woman kept coming to my office and saying, you're going to come to work for me, I'm like, no, I'm not. Yeah, you are. And one day she came to my house and she said, what do I have to do to get you to come work for me? I said, well, if you can get health insurance for me and a Medicare supplement for my disabled husband, I'll come to work for you. And I knew we both were uninsurable because I had lupus and he had some kind of muscle disease and some type of, they called it a muscular dystrophy, but it was a genetic thing because his mom and dad were first cousins. But anyway, so 3 weeks later, she came back to my house, and I was on my knees under the carport trying to change the headlight and had my arm stuck in the hole because I dropped a screw when I took the headlight out. And I just reached in to get it, thinking my arm would just come right back out, but it got stuck. And so I'm on my knees on concrete, and I've been there like an hour. And by that time, I was kind of, losing my mind. And I'd had the kids go in and get a pillow to put under my knees, and then the vegetable oil, the baby oil, bacon grease, anything that might lubricate my arm to come out. And nothing worked. And so when she walked up and saw me, she just cracked up. And she says, "Oh, well, I'm not sure if I want you to come to work for me." She goes, "But at least you're persistent." And I said, "Well, I don't." What?
How'd you get out of that situation?
Oh, Lord, it was awful. I stayed on my knees on that concrete for like 5 hours, and my arm was starting to swell up, and everything. And so I finally said, "Call 911, tell them bring the jaws of life. They're just going to have to cut me out of my car." So they went in to call 911. And I just took a deep breath and relaxed, because I thought, well, I'm going to be safe now. And my arm came right out right then. All I had to do was relax. Are you there?
Quite a story.
Well, almost as good as the one when I got into the car to change the oil. I went to my neighbor. And mind you, I had my hair done and my makeup done and everything. I always done that because, being a witness, you get used to doing that for the meetings, and then you have a professional job and you have to get dressed up for that. And so every day I still did it, but I didn't get dressed up. I just did my makeup and hair. Of course, I still like to do that. I just feel better, And, so he told me, we'll just get a screwdriver and hammer it into the oil filter and just twist it off. So I got directly under the oil filter with a screwdriver pointed straight up underneath the oil filter.
Did you get oil all over you?
Yes, I did. I got a face and hair full of black oil. He didn't tell me to put the screwdriver in the side and twist it off. I thought once I got the screwdriver in and on the bottom it would twist off. Duh. And I walked into their house. And I opened the door. I said, "Terry," I said, "Get in here." And he walked in there and he says, "Oh my God, you didn't." He said, you didn't put the screwdriver to the side of it." I said, "You didn't mention that. You just said, take a screwdriver and hammer it in and it would twist off." He said, "Well, yeah. To twist it, you've got to go around, not that way, otherwise, I don't know. Anyway, yeah, it kind of took me a few weeks to get all of that out of my hair, but I had to laugh at myself. It was hilarious. It was funny after I got my arm out of the hole, the headlight went up too. But it wasn't funny the 5 hours I spent on my knees on the concrete.
The oil's pretty funny though.
Oh yeah. But I've done a lot of silly things like that. But when I but I usually could laugh at myself. I got angry though after I moved here and I had my accident, and it was a trauma, to fall and break your neck and your arms and your shoulders and become completely dependent on other people. And then have surgeries, get infected with diseases that you spent 8 months in the hospital trying to get over the disease you got from the surgery you got.
Doing pretty good today. Count your blessings from today. You're doing pretty good.
Oh, yeah. I do count my blessings, even with my pipes froze, because I figure, you know, in with the bad, in between all the bad stuff, there are good things. And good things can often come out of bad things, you know?
Yeah.
I got a brand new shot. She was thrilled when I got my arm out of that hole. I mean, she stayed there the whole time with me, just cracking up, you know. She says, well, you want me to go get some whiskey for you? Maybe that'll help you. You know, or something, you know, anything. Because, you know, I was starting to get desperately hopeless, you know, after 5 hours. And I thought, oh, my God, they're going to cut my car up. And I had just, anyway.
Oh, we're glad you got out of that paper. But, you know, it's an odd thing growing up in the little subculture that we grew up in. Because some people are really smart on certain grades and stuff, and then other stuff, there doesn't seem to be any common sense that comes to, I don't know.
I did a lot of car repairs after that. I replaced my brakes. I rebuilt the fan motor, and I learned to do everything. But then even when I was married the second time, I was a family breadwinner because he was disabled, and I married him. Even without being in love, I just married him to give him a chance to have a family, which backfired royally. I don't think there's any. I'm sorry. What?
I don't think there's been any books on witness sisters. There was one, I'm Perfect, You're Doomed, which was a marvelous book about a witness sister. And then the one,
I heard that book one time.
Of that book. I donated that to the library hoping it would help someone else. It was a wonderful book. And then the lady's last name was Scora, where she's a missionary in China. That was quite the book.
You know, a little while ago you were saying, one of y'all was saying that the missionaries couldn't be missionaries if they had children. And my uncle went to Africa as a missionary, and he met his wife over there, and his wife's family was rich, and by their standards, and they had people that, you know, worked for them to serve them, you know, and they were from different tribes. But my uncle's wife was white, and they had lived in Rhodesia, what was Rhodesia, and Mozambique and all that, you know, that whole area. And after they got married, the Watchtower Society wouldn't help him anymore, and he couldn't stay in Africa. He got deported. So she had to come to America, but their daughter was born there also. That she got pregnant with over there. But then, since he had to come back to America, he had to have somebody sponsor him, which turned out to be his brother, my dad. And they got all the way to London, and this was when the big convention was in New York, the International 68, I think. Yeah. And my mom and dad, and my dad's sister, and of course my uncle's sister, they all rode in one car all the way to New York. But back then we didn't have bucket seats. You know, we had straight.
Talk about how big the cars were and how wonderful the big cars.
Yeah, but they drove all the way to New York and brought back my uncle and aunt and their daughter all in one car. So that was 6 adults and a child in a regular four-door car.
The old cars, that's what the problem.
Yeah, I know.
Those old boats, they were wonderful, and big trunks and everything for luggage, and it was, yeah.
And go from Memphis, Tennessee to New York with 6, or come from New York to Mississippi with 6 adults and a child was something. But they got held over in London for nearly 2 years before they could come, because to sponsor somebody, you have to make a certain amount of money. And at the moment, my dad had just, believe it or not, had gone to night school, and I already said this before, to get his law degree.
Used to be where you could do that. There was a school that I knew about that it was much less money, but if you had a really good memory and all, you could just go there at night. And that, yeah, there were programs like that once upon a time. Not anymore.
Yeah, well, what my dad did, and he had a job during the daytime
Debbie,
as an accountant.
Debbie,
And
can I?
he could have been licensed as a CPA, but he didn't want to be a CPA because he would have to charge people more money. And my dad got all the way through law school with no problems until it came to taking the oath. And he found out he would have to defend somebody even if he knew they were guilty. You know, if he got called upon to be a public defender, they choose you. You don't choose that, you know. And, you know, they choose certain ones to be prosecutors, certain ones to be public defenders, and then they switch, and the prosecutor becomes a public defender, and the public, well, whatever, I'm all confusing myself now. But anyway, he wouldn't take the oath. So even back then, I thought, why the heck would you go to law school to be a lawyer? Surely you knew ahead of time you were going to have to take that oath. I mean, seriously.
That's really unfortunate.
I know, but it did pay off because he was able to help a lot of people with his knowledge. And then he passed his books on to me because I was just a voracious reader anyway, and I read an entire section in the library at my school in the 3rd grade. I read every biography.
On YouTube, see if you can watch a show called The Corporation.
Okay.
And I think there might be one called The New Corporation. There might be an update of it. And it's all about the law and what a corporation is. It's called The Corporation.
Oh, okay.
It's so interesting.
Yeah.
And it's not a dry show at all. They made it interesting, and they're explaining to you what a corporation is under the law.
Yeah.
And the Watchtower.
LLC? Do you know what a LLC is? I think something. I want to say something legal corporation or something.
Limited liability corporation, I think.
Liability?
I think it's limited liability. It's past 11 o'clock here, so I think it's limited liability corporation. I could be wrong.
Well, it's 1 o'clock here. I thought you were on the East Coast.
I am.
So it's 2 o'clock there.
Well, yeah, so don't ask me.
So I thought she said it's 11 o'clock there, and I was like, that's not possible on the East Coast. It's 1 o'clock later.
I don't know what anything is at this hour.
I used to be able to stay up all night every night,
But you'll enjoy
the more I'm about sleep, the more I'm trying to make myself sleep more because I don't sleep good at all. I've never been a good sleeper.
Well,
You know,
you
not
have to schedule
nighttime.
it.
Right?
You have to schedule it.
Yeah, that's what I don't really schedule it now. I just fall asleep whenever. I can be in the middle of eating and fall asleep, you know, holding a sandwich in my hand.
That's called retirement. Where did Linda go?
Well, we're probably talking over her, so.
I'm right.
We'll let you talk something since it's your show.
I'm right here. Can you hear me?
I need to get an appointment, Linda, for one of those Sassoon swing haircuts. I love those haircuts. It's my favorite haircut on earth.
Yeah.
I am going to be right back, okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sassoon had that wonderful shampoo, too, years ago.
Yeah, the Vidal Sassoon.
It was cheap. Good.
There was an ice skater that made a certain haircut famous, and I can't think of it
Yeah,
right now.
that's Dorothy Hamill.
Yes, the Dorothy Hamill haircut. It was amazing.
Right.
Yeah, I remember learning how to do that haircut. It's quite unique.
Yeah, I cut my own hair. I need to go to the hairdresser so she can get the back. But I even do the back pretty good now.
Oh, okay.
It's not easy to cut your own hair.
That is true. I've been cutting my own hair for years.
I've done it for 30 years now, so.
When I was younger, before I went to beauty school, I have a story to tell you. Before I went to beauty school, I got those hair magazines, and some of them would show you how to do the haircut. I did the haircut on me. I had wonderful feathered hair. I did it on my sister, and I did it backwards. So I gave her a really bad haircut, and I was this was awful. She would walk around with her hands over her head. She was so miserable. Like, it's so bad. Sorry, sis. Sorry. If you ever see this, it's going to be disappointing that I'm an apostate, but I'm really sorry that I really jacked up your hair when we were young. But I did go to beauty school. This is interesting because I never went to a salon growing up. When I went to check out I went to check out a beauty school. My mom had me go there just to get my hair done, and she handed me a couple of dollars, and I said, "What's this?" She said, "It's for a tip." I didn't even know hairdressers got tips. That's that's how clueless I was.
Well, when you're a kid, you don't know a lot of that stuff. I didn't know that stuff either. You have to be taught a lot of things.
Yeah. But I remember walking in, and I went, and I could smell perm solution, and I thought, I am home sweet home. It's like, this is my place right here. Who does that? I did. My grandmother was a hairdresser, but I never hung out with her, nor did I hang out in her salons. But I always knew I would be a hairdresser growing up, and it was really enjoyable, especially because I'm really artsy fartsy. So I got to be an artist in my day job, and I got to walk, see the canvas, walk in, do some work on them, and see the finished result walk out the door. And that gave me a lot of satisfaction. Cultastic, that was a guest for Gail, the show before this one tonight. She is also a hairdresser, and if you get a chance to see some of her stuff,
and I loved her hair.
Oh yeah, she does really unique things with her hair, and a couple of times she's put in some cool funky colors and stuff. But yeah, I remember the day she was like, "Oh, I'm a hairdresser too." So yeah, and you've seen how creative she is, you know. It's really nice when you get to have a job where you can be your gift.
Right, right.
I'm really glad to hear that
Well,
you're
when I
going to
was,
be with some neighbors tomorrow. And you're right,
yeah,
it's not the
yeah.
same as family.
Growing up,
It's
I had
really
this
good to
British
hear.
man that had a hair salon, and he knew Vidal Sassoon.
Oh, did he?
So,
That's a big deal. My
and I was
grandmother.
really getting a good haircut when I went in there, and you know, I had like the perfect flip, and then I had the Sassoon swing haircut, and I had all kinds of mod things, you know. But yeah, I should have had a hairdresser more often. People were more self-reliant way back when. They didn't. And where I live now, all these women go and get their nails done, and you know, I do my own nails, I do my own hair, and I didn't. You know, I grew up in a big city, but this thing of going to get your nails done all the time, I don't know how healthy that is.
If you have it done regularly, your nail technician would be making sure that your nail bed remains healthy. But still, it can wear on your nails.
I had those fake nails one time when I was married. I had those dragon lady nails for a few months.
Yep.
And I stopped doing that. This was decades ago now. But I stopped doing it because they said if you kept doing it, you know, mess up your nails.
Yeah, that's the theory. That's the theory. But I know people that have worn them for years, including nail technicians. Back in the day, nail technicians would always have a good set of acrylic nails on, or silk wrap nails, or you know. As of late, like within the last 10 years or so, there's been the gel nails. You know, so there's many different techniques and stuff. So yeah.
Well, I'm just, you know, nature girl here, but I got I sent some wonderful makeup. I got all new makeup, and I got all kinds of lipsticks, and I'll play with that tomorrow before I go over to the
good. Yeah, when you feel good, you know, when you look good, you feel better. I got to volunteer years ago for fitting the wigs of cancer patients, and along with that, they would get like this little container full of makeup, and this was all donated makeup, and then my services were donated. So once they would open that little thing, they had good quality makeup, like from Estee Lauder and just many different top brands of different makeup. So, and the program was called Look Good, Feel Better, which is why I'm bringing it up, because I just said that. But it was really nice to have, you know, 4 or 5 gals at a table, and we would go through the whole putting on some makeup and then fitting them for their wigs. It was really enjoyable to see them, you know, talk amongst each other, like, you know, oh, what do you think? You know, does this look okay? And it was just really an enjoyable event to be able to do that.
Yeah, it can be. In corporate America, I was dolled up every day. So in retirement, I'm kind of liking nature here.
That's beautiful. That's really beautiful.
But I will doll up for the neighbors tomorrow.
And it's a good occasion too, you know. It's a very nice occasion.
Fun to see if you can still do it, you know.
And less is more during the day. You know, some lipstick and some, you know, maybe some eyeliner, a little bit of shadow, or.
I'll probably brows tomorrow. I'll do some brows.
Oh,
yeah. I don't usually do mascara, but I found my Clinique mascara today.
Yay!
And I got my brand new black honey lipstick, and I've got some new earrings.
Very fun.
You know, a product that Amazon is going to send me, and it's an inexpensive product. It's called Maybelline Baby Skin.
Mobiline, not Maybelline.
Maybelline.
Okay,
Maybelline. Maybelline. You know,
okay.
this inexpensive stuff.
Yes.
And it's called Baby Skin.
Is that a form of skincare?
It's a primer.
Oh, it's a primer. Okay. I'm a huge fan of primers. You put the primer on before you do your foundation.
The nicest moisturizer you could ever get for every day. You can wear it as a moisturizer. You can wear it under paint.
Mm-hmm.
It is inexpensive. It is better than the expensive stuff. So if you see Maybelline Baby Skin, get a tube of it. There's no color in it. You don't have to worry about matching it. Great product.
What is the best thing? I've been watching doctors about your skin, and I mean, I saw something about how to grow lashes, your lashes back out, because when I was in the hospital for so many months, getting those infusions every 12 hours, it was 2 different kinds of antibiotics, and it was like almost getting chemotherapy. They had to dope me up with Phenergan, whatever they had, Phenergan, Compazine, everything is getting from puking my guts up, and my hair started falling out. I think that's why I don't want to cut it again, because it's taken me 4 years to get it to the length it is. And but my eyelashes started falling out, and this one doctor on YouTube, there's only a couple of them. You can listen to a doctor and then do what you think is best, you know. But he suggested putting castor oil on your eyelashes, you know, the base of your eyelashes.
Yes.
Have you ever heard of that?
I have.
Is it good?
It's kind of an...
There is a tube that's supposed to be there's a product that's supposed to help your lashes and brows.
Grow?
Yeah, and I've seen it in magazines.
So
don't know if it helps or not.
That was discovered in a really unique way. It was the medicine that you would put on the eyes for glaucoma. And as a side effect, it made the patient's eyelashes get darker and grow longer.
There you go.
Oh, you're kidding. I used to use that all.
I'm not kidding.
I haven't used it in years because I guess I don't have glaucoma anymore because they operated on my eyes and took off the cataracts and the glaucoma went away. But just let it got replaced with macular degeneration.
Oh. And you know side effect, one thing.
It's way worse than glaucoma.
You know, Viagra was originally a circulation inducer, you know, and then we got to find out there was a side effect. So there's Viagra.
Is it true that minoxidil was originally for a heart med?
I'm not sure.
I heard that was originally circulation too, and they use it to grow hair now.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's because if you stimulate your hair scalp by like a vibrating brush or something, it brings blood to the surface and better.
Was for blood pressure.
Blood pressure. Okay. Thank you.
Well, blood pressure medicine can also reduce. get some more. Never mind. And
There
it
was
feels like everything circulates better. What am I talking about? I'm confusing myself.
it started off good, and then I heard you get lost, and I've had days like that too. Do you need a little bit of like a snack, like maybe a little protein, to help your neurons connect a little better? I know when I get like I can't finish a
Well,
thought.
I didn't check my blood sugar. You might be right. I just think about it. No, my
So
blood sugar's plenty high. It's 205, so I'm not going to take more insulin, though, because it'll go too low.
okay.
But minoxidil, is that what it is? Stimulates hair growth. But, I mean, with castor oil, you said you heard about castor oil. I'd like to stick with something more natural than chemical.
Well, it's old
When it comes
school.
to your eyes, when it comes to your eyes and your vision, I would buy the mascara one that says "helps lashes grow."
Yeah, I did that.
My eyes, I didn't know for sure.
That didn't work. That's why I was kind of checking on.
Well, not all that.
I tried that.
That's why I mentioned that inexpensive face cream that's a primer that's so good, and it's half the price of every other one that they have.
You know what's fun is to get Ipsy. Have you ever got that? Those little bags that you can get every month with a different. You can either get it for $12.50 a month, and you get like 5 or 6 samples of real nice, expensive perfumes and.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah. Yeah, that's a nice treat.
That's what?
That's a nice treat. One thing I miss about the big city, you'd go to the makeup counter in the big city, and you'd come home with free perfume samples from Nordstrom, and you know, you'd get a little lipstick.
Yeah, I miss doing that.
From some other, shopping is never going to be the same. Everything is going to change. We are in such a strange
Transition time.
Everything.
Yeah.
Can you imagine what they would, if the people from the 1800s came to this century? They would think they were on a different planet.
Heck, I'm from 1968. I think I'm from a different planet. I remember shopping in 1968, and I look at how all the department stores have disappeared, and I like Amazon, but it's not the same as going to the makeup counter. And you know what I read yesterday, because he didn't do a news segment today. 1 in every 7 seniors is skipping meals.
Oh no.
They're sending all this money overseas to help people, and we've got people in this country that need a meal and need a roof over their head, and we're in a different
I get meals all the time. I just eat what is necessary.
Right.
I'm blessed with the balance.
We're in a different time right now, and it's my prediction for 2023. You don't even want to know. Oh
no.
What was somebody was mentioning? Oh, you were mentioning the temperatures. Okay, my parents back in the Dust Bowl in Nebraska in the 1930s used to tell about how it was 20 and 30 below, and they had a blizzard that is similar to what you're sitting through right now. Well, yesterday I was looking at the weather, and they said the winter wheat crop is going to be damaged by the weather we're having right now.
Wow.
So that means next year's bread price is going to go sky friggin' high.
Okay.
Well, just what Revelation said, it would be a day's wages.
Yep. So we have the conditions for that right now because North Dakota had enough winter wheat to save the crackers, put them in the stores, and now we've got a wheat problem again. And I don't eat it, but I know most of the world, their calories are going to come from wheat.
I quit eating bread. I can't believe it. That when I weighed, as I had lost 18 pounds in a couple of months without dieting. It just, which was nice, The only, how do you get, other than a facelift, how can you get rid of that turkey neck? When they took the disc out of my neck and, put the metal in it, they came loose, and they had taken out 3 discs, which made me lose 3 inches in my height, but it's all in my neck. So now, and I keep losing weight. And they had cut my throat, across there too. And during surgery, they had cut, open my neck and everything. How do you tighten that skin up to make it?
That's above my pay grade. I didn't go to that school. I think sometimes the best we can do as we age, we get a bright lipstick and paint on a smile and go from there. That's my
and I just got a lipstick, kind of a red lipstick, and I can't find it. I can't find none of my lipstick today. I've got them all in a certain little bag, labeled lipsticks, so I won't lose them. They'll all be together. But then, when I lose the whole bag, I lose all of it,
It took me a year to find this beautiful little thing that had the lipstick in it. And so throughout this last year, I bought all new lipsticks. And so now I have twice the amount of lipsticks I need. I'm going to wear a different lipstick every day next year.
When the kids were helping load up and stuff, when I was moving up here, my grandkids were, and I was selling Avon. And I had just bought this kit with 79 new lipsticks.
Wow.
And they dropped it. And it wasn't that they dropped it that was so bad. It was rare they dropped it. They were standing over a sewer grate when they dropped it. 79 lipsticks that had not even been opened went straight into the sewer.
It's a sad story because I love my lipsticks.
Oh, I do too. I still buy Avon. I mean, I went years without having an Avon rep. The little bitty town that I was living in with 900 people, there were 3 people there that sold Avon.
There you go.
And well, I mean, there was no customer base. But one lady that sold it lived there all her life. And here I was, this southern lady that moves in, and I wasn't related to anybody in the town. And you just don't do that in small Nebraska towns and expect to be welcome with open arms, because you're not. That's just all there is to it.
You shouldn't do what?
But you do learn who everybody is, but then, I miss it now. Because
did you hear me, Deb?
I know everybody, but I don't miss. What I miss is the kind of house that I had, and I was able to walk away from it. I say with no problem, but I miss having some furniture, and space, a huge kitchen. And
other witness that they were so much into the next life that we'd be in paradise and still be in this lifetime, as we all know. there was this non-materialistic Zen thing where you were expected to walk away from your material goods. Now, this is a strength. It's great if you're a Zen Buddhist or a surfer or, you know, some disaster happens. Minimalist. But the practicality of it is, if you did walk away from all your material goods, you're either going to have a very different lifestyle or you're going to have to buy new goods. And so they haven't been realistic about material things. They haven't been realistic about retirement. They haven't been realistic about the fact that we all live and die, laugh and cry. And we get old. And that we do age, and that we have to do it gracefully and with as much pluck and verve as we can. There's a lot of things that, just small things that, you know, the sisters have to deal with that they really haven't addressed honestly.
I agree.
They've not.
You know, Pitsy, a little while ago, you said something that piqued my interest. You said that there wasn't any books about witness women and oh my goodness, what was it?
So yeah,
books. I think I'm going to talk about that a little bit. There's a woman that wrote I'm Perfect, You're Doomed. That was a great book. And the one that wrote about being a missionary in China, her last name is Scora, that was a great book. But I have yet to see the book I want to read, so I'm going to have to write it.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. That's what got me interested in, because I'm just kind of reading randomly.
Write your book and give it structure. You want to have, you know, each chapter.
Oh, I know.
Structure, and, you know, have some structure. Yeah.
Right?
They didn't talk about aging gracefully. We weren't supposed to. We were just supposed to be 30 years old forever.
Hi, Pixie. Hi, Debbie.
Just walk into the new system, and we're still 30, and we're 30 for eternity. Yeah.
Can you guys?
Sorry, no.
Hello. Can you hear me?
We're talking.
Yeah, I'm trying to talk.
I hear you. If you're I see you on the TV talking, but I don't hear anything.
Is this any better? Can you hear me any better now?
I hear you fine. Can't wonder what happened. All I can hear is little. Now I can't hear you again.
Okay.
Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Are you turning your mic off now?
What did you say?
I have. Are you turning your mic off and on?
Yes. Yes, I am. I probably could raise the volume on my device, and I have it all the way up. So yeah, that's up pretty high.
Okay.
So I was going to ask you something, and now I forgot what it was. Oh, have you checked with the cats about that bag of lipstick of yours that's gone missing? Maybe they know where it's at.
You know what? I'm the one that loses everything.
But they play around with all your stuff. They play around with your stuff.
Dogs do that more than cats do, actually.
Okay.
They can't drag that heavy of a bag.
Oh, I didn't realize it was so heavy.
But anything that sparkles or shines,
yeah,
you know, that will disappear into their little hiding places, their little fuzzy balls and their little fuzzy mice, and every now and then I'll find, you know, I know they're looking for them and forgot where they put them, so I guess I am rubbing off on them a little bit. The thing is, I have just one area that I'm in. And honestly, sometimes I just think I must have lost my freaking mind because of some of the stupid things I do. I'll be drinking, you know, I can't drink anything out of a glass because I will spill it. It has to be out of a straw or a bottle. But preferably a bottle with the top on it and the straw in it, I'm gonna knock it over, and it's still gonna pour out everywhere. And like earlier today, I had a bottle of water, and I stuck it between my legs to reach to grab something, and I was just holding it between my thighs, and I leaned over, but I forgot to put the top on it before I leaned over. So when I leaned over, the whole bottle just went over with me, and poured all over my legs and my feet. And I was like, oh my gosh, how can you be so absent-minded? But it happens every single day. So the problem of not having water to do laundry is going to be a big problem for me because I spill everything. And I lose everything that's right here around me, including my mind. I have a hard time. When you lose your mind, that's hard, to find that. So. Are you talking now?
I was waiting for Linda to come back.
Can you hear me?
I know. I don't see her on the TV either.
I'm here. Can you hear me? No, that's
Yeah, I can hear you.
okay.
It looked like you were talking because of the little things around your voice when you're talking. The little light around it.
Yeah.
With each vowel. Not vowel. Oh my goodness, I can't think of what it was. I used to be so smart in English grammar. It's not a section of the word. What's it called?
I'm not sure.
Each little section is what?
I'm not sure what you're talking about.
What?
Linda, I can hear you just sound far away. But I can hear you and everything. That's for some reason, but you sound far away.
Okay.
Okay, who was that talking with that?
That's Delon. I know that I'm sounding far away.
I keep breaking up too.
This has happened a few times now. So I need to actually get new headphones is what I need to do.
Better. That's much better.
Oh, is it? Okay.
I sent you some history videos, and I sent you one that may not be of interest, or it might be. It was all the sects that were from William Miller, and all the groups that were in Russell's time and all. And I thought, you might want to reference that if you had a question about something. So I sent that along to you.
Thank you.
And I sent a history timeline of Black history. It was about the slave trade, and it's from a British video called Timeline. And if you go to YouTube and subscribe to Timeline, you will have more history than you know what to do with. It's presented in a light, easy to understand format, and it should answer your questions.
Oh, good. Good.
Absolute history is that way too.
That was a sample from Timeline.
Okay. What did you suggest, Debbie?
On YouTube, you get the absolute history.
Okay.
I've seen that, but I thought Timeline was really biffy.
Has a good
Yeah, it's part of YouTube. It's one of the stations.
Well, I watch a whole bunch of British history and all the ancient histories, and growing up as a witness, you didn't learn anything about other countries except except China was communist and Russia was communist and Germany was communist, and that was about it.
I often wonder what the Chinese witnesses are learning. Not Chinese, Japanese witnesses are learning, and I'm understanding that some of them are maybe leaving the witnesses in Japan. I don't know what the whole story is yet. I got to research it some more.
Yeah.
How are they able to rebuild Japan after a nuclear bomb? Well, it was an atom bomb, but is it nuclear? Is it the same thing? I mean, radiation. I mean,
that's a very good question, but those were only 2 cities.
Which is Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
As far as I know, I mean, I'm not an expert in that, but
I know, but Japan is an island.
A wonderful movie about Japan, the most enchanting movie I've seen. Spielberg was going to make it, and he produced it and gave it to someone else. If you get a chance to see a movie, Memoir of a Geisha, it is one of my 10 favorite movies. I love that movie.
Isn't that something?
It's just beautiful. Have you seen that, Linda?
I think I have, but I can't recall it. So I would need to, that would make me want to re-see it again.
It's based on a novel, but I think the movie, sometimes the book
I read the novel too. Yeah.
The movie was better than the novel. And the only other case of that was Dr. Zhivago was better than the novel. But that Memoir of a Geisha, I could see it again this week. It was so spectacular, but it also kind of gives the history of Japan a little bit toward the end.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember
the movie about the geisha? I thought it was geisha. The video effects of it, you can see the makeup so much. You know, oh my God, I can't get my words. The details of all that is beautiful. But I just don't understand why anyone would really want to do that.
Well, you ask a deep question. You have to go back and get the whole history of World War II, which I can't give to you right now.
Okay.
Three weeks of study. So go to YouTube and ask your questions on YouTube, and there'll be some historian that'll give you 4 or 5 videos, and then you'll know.
I could just ask my daughter because she seems to know the history of the world, you know.
Well, I do, but I can't give it to you here.
Oh, come on, Pinky. I'll give you my phone number. Just call me. Of course, my phone price goes down, but
I used to wear those shoes like they wear in Japan. I can't wear those 4-inch platforms anymore. That was part of my talent.
Are you talking? No, I'm thinking of the Dutch and cobble. They used to bind their feet.
That's China. That's not Japan. That's China. 2 different cultures.
Okay.
2 different cultures, 2 different eras, 2 different things.
Oh my goodness. See, my brain, my synapses aren't finally right.
Oh,
okay, the must be getting real short.
A lot of people would confuse China and Japan there's different Asian cultures. There's Korea, there's China, there's Japan. There's 3 totally different cultures. But those shoes like they wear in Japan, I used to do those with no problem.
With the wooden soles?
Yeah, they're about 3 inches high, and they're a little flip flop. They're about 3 inches high, and I love my gators.
And people
My
say,
aunt in Africa that came here used to wear those. I knew what you were talking about, but now that you described them in detail like that, now I know what you're talking about better than what I was thinking.
yeah, like platform shoes. I used to wear lots of platform shoes. Never had.
Oh, I did too. We call them stacks too.
Never had
Didn't we? Or is that men? The men wore stacks and the women wore platform. I look like I'm from the 60s today if y'all could have seen my whole outfit.
Yeah? What are you wearing?
It's really 60s.
What are you wearing, Debbie?
What am I wearing? Well, I'm wearing, they're like tights, but the design of them is, well, they're kind of gold with the designs on them, like, oh, I can't think of the design, but, yeah, the swirly patterns, with the different colors. Oh, that don't even sound right. I know the pattern, I just can't think of it.
Would it be paisley?
It's got gold and turquoise and kind of a orangey color, and so it's like swirly things.
Would it be paisley?
Paisley.
Okay.
But it's big pieces of it spread out. And then I got the shirt I'm wearing at a thrift store me and Timmy went to a few weeks ago. And it's the same, it turned out to be the same color as these pants that I already had. And it's got the turquoise and the gold. And it's like it's a design in the shirt that fits perfect with the pants. But you know, if you wear the same color clothes, eventually all the clothes you have are going to match something else that you buy again, and then you can keep expanding your wardrobe, which I had to do that all over again too. But it's kind of cool that I'm able to fit in these clothes better. You know, the smaller clothes. You can't tell it looking at my face straight on, because if you see my chin, because it looks like it's way down. But if you look at it a different way, well, I'm not real happy from the steroids like I used to be all the time.
Okay.
You know who's not doing well? I watched the Christmas Mass live. I had a live feed on YouTube. The Pope is not doing well at all.
Is that right?
He had someone else do his song and dance for him today, and the Cardinals had their little hot pink hats, but they had this beautiful gold lame. Everybody had a Jedi robe today that was the most beautiful gold brocade and white brocade. But I don't know who the guy was that was doing the main deal there. The Pope was in a wheelchair, half asleep.
Oh, that doesn't sound good.
Is he the one that's
no,
was from South America that was a Jesuit?
Yes, he was. Yes, he was from. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
And he's not doing well. I was shocked.
Is he Pope Francis?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
He's not doing well at all. So that was news. And I'm getting excited about Charles III. He's going to have a coronation. That'll be some fancy television.
When is that going to happen?
Oh, I have no idea, but they'll tell us.
You know he's in full support of this one world government.
Yeah, so I find it interesting to see what he's up to.
Yeah,
So
from what
That is a
read about him, he's going to be a thorn in the flesh of humankind.
Maybe we'll have to see. We'll have to see if Jimmy Bell has anything in 2 weeks about all this. But I do think looking at the Pope and he doesn't look good, and Charles coming in very strong in this wonderful big coronation they'll have. We've got some changes coming up in 2023 that are going to be very different.
I'm going to try to say something positive about it.
Well, I'm
But I
not
can't do anything.
saying anything negative. I'm just saying that this is what I'm perceiving today.
Oh no, I was just making a smart aleck joke, Pixie, that's all.
Who knows? Who knows? I mean,
That just was like I'll be positive, but can't think of anything. So,
there
I'm
are
not going to say nothing negative, ain't say nothing positive.
but I
What
think
is your
Charles
coronation?
ended up much strong. I mean, he's going to be King of England, for goodness sake. That's a strong leader. They own half the planet and rule the waves and all that. But he could be a stronger political presence than I would have thought 2-3 years ago.
Yeah. I think William would make a better king than
Well, but that's not how it works over there.
Oh, I know. Yeah, to me, I thought it was kind of odd that William's kids would come before Harry.
Oh, no.
Isn't that weird?
That's how it works. That's how it works.
Well, I know that's how it works, but it just, I don't know, it just feels like, that just doesn't make sense to me. I don't understand why, but I know that's what they do.
Even in the Bible, for thousands of years, the firstborn sons, all of them were from the firstborn.
That's right.
And so the second son would usually, he could be the court jester, or he could go out and seek his fortune. He could get a portion of the land, but everything was the firstborn son. And then it went to the firstborn of his lineage. But that's just how it was.
Yeah, but all of William's kids, all of them still come before Harry.
Yes, because the Queen made it that the girls could also be in the lineage that way. She changed the law on that, so it's not just the young men. It's also the young girls.
I was only fair that the young women could be part of it too.
Yeah, she reigned for so long, but yeah, it's just how it is. But I have no idea who the next pope might be. And then they've got 2 popes over there, because the old guy is still living.
Which old guy?
He went to live in a villa with his boyfriend, and then they put Pope Francis there. So I'm certainly no expert on the Roman Church, but I don't know what they might do.
The Church of England was the Protestants from the Catholics, right?
Yes.
Because King Henry
and Elizabeth and King James, and yeah.
It's really interesting. I'm sure American history is interesting, but I watched the men who made America. I was not impressed at all. The way they took America, it was, it's just, I was almost ashamed to be part of the Caucasian race, from watching that.
History is history, and if you study history, what they cannot do, even if it was wrong, even if the deeds were wrong, even if the deeds were criminal, you cannot put 21st century thinking back back in time. You have to read the history and accept what happened, and then you can say, well, we don't want that to happen anymore. But you can't rewrite history.
I know that they've tried to rewrite the history in the South by removing, I mean, okay, I'm not trying to start a race war here, but they took away the Southern heritage. Everybody else's heritage is fine. They can, no matter what their heritage is. But in the South, they took away all of our history. But it's not just the bad history about what white people did. It was the history of, I mean, even, and America, just President Biden sent 50 billion or million or billion, I don't know, it was to Africa for the facts, for like repatriation, instead of giving it to the black people here. But
I hear you.
They got the wrong reparation. But the black people in Africa sold their own people to the traders who brought them here and sold them into slavery. And some of the black people that were brought over here as slaves, they were princesses and princes over there. They totally destroyed their lives by doing it. And but at the same time, I know most of the history about slavery and everything came out of the South. I do understand that. But still, taking away the flag and all this and all that, that's trying to rewrite history. You see what I'm talking about?
Because I hear you. I lived in Richmond, Virginia. I hear you.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Are you talking about the Confederate flag?
What?
Were you talking about the Confederate flag?
Hey, Linda.
Okay. This is really disappointing. Are you talking about the Confederate flag?
Well, they took down the Confederate, but they made that illegal to even have. And then they took away all the statues and stuff. And I think they even took Lincoln down, and Lincoln was the one that had the slaves freed, you know. But it wasn't just black people that were sharecroppers and lived in blackboard houses with paper stuck between the boards for the holes in the walls. I mean, I remember my grandparents' house like that when we lived on they lived on a plantation, but they were a sharecropper as part of the plantation. They worked for the big house, you know, they did the work at the big house, but they lived just, it was whites and blacks that lived together, you know, across, like sharecroppers, you know what I mean? And they all pick cotton, and that's painful. I don't know how anybody can pick cotton. Gosh. Have you ever seen what cotton rolls actually look like?
Yes, they have little barbs on them.
I know. Your hands will be bleeding in just a couple of minutes. And I guess there's a certain way you learn to pick it. My mother said she never could learn, so she stayed in the house and took care of babies. And that's why they had such big families too back then, was so there would be enough kids to help do the work, you know. You got kids to work, and so many of them died at such young ages, you know, they had to keep having them. So many died before the age of 5. I mean, a lot were stillborn. And of course, still, even in America, the the maternal death rate in the African American women is higher. They don't seem to get as much care as they should be able to. Not that they're not trying to get good care. I'm just saying they're not given the kind of care that a lot of white women are given. It's not, it's just not everything's fair.
It also depends on the region. We live in a very polluted world, which is hard to understand. And like I told last year, 1 in every 7 seniors is skipping meals. We got people living on the streets here, and they're sending all this money overseas. I hear you. 2023 is going to be a strange year.
Okay, I gotta hang up and call on another phone. This phone's dead.
Okay, good night. Nice chatting with you.
Well, I'm gonna call back and
Holidays.
Happy
New Year.
You too. Linda, can I still call back?
Yeah, you should be able to. Yeah. Yes.
Okay, I'm just gonna call back in.
I'm so disappointed. So, I'm here. I have my mic on, so I'm gonna have to get a different microphone system. Did you get a chance to?
It's good. The Blue brand microphone. The brand of the microphone is Blue.
Blue is the brand of the microphone. Okay.
It's made just for what you're doing right now.
Okay. So you can't hear me at all then? I sound super far away?
I can.
Okay.
You're much better.
Good. So did you get a chance? Did you hear the president from Ukraine speaking in Congress?
I didn't.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I enjoyed that. I watched it today. It happened a day or so ago.
Oh, the president, yes. When he was
President of Ukraine.
in Congress, yes, he did. He got 3 standing ovations.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. It didn't sound like they were sending any troops. It sounded like they were going to send other stuff, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But again, I'm seeing lots of money going out.
Right.
And I don't see any of our American problems being addressed.
Yeah, we need to see more. I agree with you.
That bill they passed, even I couldn't read that in 2 days or however long it took. They got a bill that's the size of 6 dictionaries.
Okay.
I haven't even read it.
What is it called?
Oh, I forget. It's because it's 3 in the morning. But
okay.
This thing, they just passed it, and there's no way they could have read it. There's no way they know everything that's in it. And they're just all smiling like big raccoons. They're all smiling like raccoons with fancy coats on, and they got pens in their hands. Oh, we're going to sign this bill, and who knows how that's going to affect the American people.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's kind of scary.
Isn't it like 4,000 or 5,000 pages?
It was huge. They had a bill like that years ago when Carter was president. I hadn't seen it was a stack. You can't tell me that anybody read it except the guy that proofread it. He knows what's in it. Some guy knows what's in it that printed it. There's not a senator that knows what's in it.
You know what? I just, on the TV, on 6 screens on the TV, YouTube, I can hear Linda okay, but not Pixie. Now, I've got the TV muted, and now I can hear Pixie fine, but that's not Linda.
You're not hearing me fine? I'm still much lower.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. When I first called in, I didn't. I
Okay.
forgot about hitting star 6 was just listening.
I'm charging up my other device that I'll go on to that other device in a little bit.
Oh, you know, a controversial issue that we haven't heard anything about, Linda, in the last 3-4 weeks?
What's that?
Abortion.
The pro-life, pro-choice issue. That hasn't been in the paper at all.
Help me out. Why would it be in the paper?
Well, because, I'm a person that thinks pro-life is good, but I also had an ancestor that before Roe, he was a surgeon and he'd rescue women in alleyways and try to save their life after they tried to do it themselves. So I think that sometimes we shouldn't be telling doctors and nurses what to do. So,
Okay.
although I think it's used too often, it's not birth control. I think sometimes there's cases where a woman could die or the child could die or maybe something's wrong with the child. So I don't think the government should be telling anybody what to do. But
okay.
The debate
they still did get that little thing that just was going around and to get rid of half the population of the earth. That
yes.
That experimental thing. The
biggest
tragedy against humankind ever done.
Yeah. So we haven't heard about that. Now, the story on that, the Lancet, the doctors are complaining about that because they can't get the material they need, the printed material. The reports are all blacked out. So look at Lancet if you want to know more. The doctors are trying to critique other doctors on that. So we're not hearing any of this. All of a sudden, we're not hearing any of it.
I was under the impression that they've already voted on that Roe versus Wade thing, and most of it is being taken away, right?
It is.
So,
but there were stories about women that were helping other women, and the nurses were, up in arms about not being able to do the job. And it's just some of these stories have just been swept under the rug as far as the news business goes. So I don't know.
The law's already so, and help me out here, Pixie, because if the law has already been changed and it's supposed to stay that way for, I guess, I don't know how long. I don't understand why we would be still hearing about it, meaning the consequences of it. Is that what you're saying? Like hearing the consequences
of it, because
now I'm understanding.
Wrong in life, and the woman would die if the doctor doesn't do something. So I guess they're practicing medicine, and we don't know about it, and hopefully these women will be saved.
Yeah, and if you're
a
politician,
Roe v. Wade, okay, is abortion still illegal since all that happened, or is it legal?
I think it would be illegal under the new law, but that the doctors and nurses are still going to do their job if the woman's going to die.
Well, let me tell you, the reason I ask this is because
let's say there's a 50-year-old. This would be the two cases, okay? Let's say there's a woman that's going to die because the baby's not right. The doctor will try to save her life. But the woman that is, let's say, too young to afford a pregnancy and all alone and wants to choose to abort the child, even though the child will be fine, she won't be able to get an abortion either. So we've got two different groups. One is choosing it as sort of a birth control because she's too poor, and that's a sad situation too. But the other situation, the woman's going to die because the situation is not a healthy one. The woman and the child could both die. So I'm thinking that there's doctors that might be doing their job anyway. I don't know, but I haven't seen any stories about it either way.
Well, you know that they're actually saying that these younger women in their 20s, if they had more than even one miscarriage, now I can't talk my throat. They're saying that she's having an abortion, but that's why she lost her baby, was an abortion when it was a miscarriage.
Certainly could be a natural miscarriage.
That's doctor terminology. That's doctor terminology.
Coverage on the issue at all.
Hold on.
I'm not seeing it covered on any of it.
Debbie, that's doctor terminology. It's not necessarily that's doctor terminology. It doesn't necessarily mean that they went to the, abortion clinic. It's if they've had a miscarriage. That's a doctor terminology. It would be a crime as abortion.
My granddaughter, she went into early labor and her baby died. And they tried to say it was like an abortion. The body does abort.
So you're looking at the word differently than a doctor would have it in his charts. It's doctor terminology. If you have a miscarriage, they'll say that it was aborted, meaning it aborted. It left the womb. Abort. We want to, get like space.
But you're not understanding what I'm saying.
I'm not listening to what you're saying.
Huh?
Go ahead. You were saying that I wasn't listening.
My granddaughter has lost 3 babies in a row.
I hear you.
Because her cervix won't. They need to sew her cervix. I see Linda's mouth moving, but I don't hear anything. Are you kidding me? What? Anyway, the doctor had to rewrite had to rewrite it a certain way in the chart so they could say it wasn't an abortion.
I hear you.
Even though the body naturally aborts, babies for natural reasons. And a lot of times it's just because your body can't carry a baby. And she lost, but one of them, she was almost 6 months along. The thing is, if you see a baby, a preemie baby, and then you imagine that baby having a woman actually having an abortion. I think some women need to know the details of what happens in some of these abortions. How they rip their little arms off. And all that.
But what I was saying is there's no coverage in the newspaper of what the states are doing. There's no coverage of what's happening to these women, pro or con. Some of these issues are not being covered. It's like we're in a censorship. But I
was trying to think they were arresting. That's what it was. They will arrest. They were here at one of the hospitals. My granddaughter was having her 3rd miscarriage, and somebody called CPS or something. I don't know what happened, but the police showed up about her having an abortion, and the doctor was like, she didn't have an abortion by choice. Her body aborted the pregnancy.
Sure, I hear you.
And
Yeah,
the doctor had to go to her defense
yeah, I hear you.
because it wasn't an abortion by choice. I mean, her body did it, you know.
I hear you, and I understand completely what you're saying.
It's so
Here's
sad.
one. Here's one. It's a lighter topic, but it's a similar thing in the way that it's being handled. Let's say you do a self checkout at the supermarket.
Okay.
Say you've got a can of soda on your bottom rung of your cart.
Oh, yes.
This has happened to most of us, and we
Yeah.
want to pay for everything that's in our cart. And if we had a person checking out, they'd say, well, check your bottom rung of your cart there where you're not used to putting things. You've got a can of soda, 6-pack of soda under there. And we put that on the cart. We pay for it. Well, let's say you do a self-checkout and you forgot there's a 6-pack of soda on your cart, and you go out after the self-checkout. They're arresting people now for not doing the self-checkout properly. And they say, oh, well, I didn't know how to do self-checkout, and they're innocent people, and they're not used to it. And usually they'd say, okay, go back, and we'll ring that up, and you can go home now. I talked to my ex-husband in another state, and he knew this was happening too. People that aren't thorough in the self-checkout are getting arrested for that can of soda that they forgot on the bottom rung of their cart.
Wow.
Yeah, they don't always let you go back and pay for it. They still arrest you.
Oh, they are, yeah.
Yeah.
And they're saying you're a shoplifter when all you were was an absent-minded person that didn't know how to do self-checkout. So we're living in a strange, it's going to change, people.
Oh, it's like, what's that movie that we were talking about? The women with the
Handmaid's Tale.
Handmaid's Tale.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's scary to think of life like that, man.
Yeah, but we got all these different people that, changes in leadership, changes in the way things are done. It's all going to be different.
In this one world government they're talking about, who's going to be the one leader of the one world government? There's going to have to be a head honcho.
Good question. We'll have to find out. Research that as much as you can, Debbie, and let us know.
I don't know that I want to know.
Okay, I kind of want to know because I like to be prepared for how things are. I know that I can't plan or wish. I'm in the land of what is.
I like to plan too. And I mean, I'm doing food and all that stuff, storing stuff up. That's why I'm only eating one meal a day and a snack, because I'm trying to save my groceries,
Well, you got to keep your blood sugar at level 2, though. Do what you need for your blood sugar.
No, I do what I need to do for my blood sugar, but that's all I do. Just what's necessary.
Because a bag of apples is not that expensive. Things that you can do, or some vegetables.
I like just to stick to a lot of fresh produce, and but you have to be careful with fruit, especially. Yeah, because it's fructose, and that's sugar also. I use stevia and things like that.
Oh, they're testing the lab-grown meat now. I don't think I want that. I don't think I'm able to digest it, but I'm gonna stay on that topic and see what that's about. The last I heard, they said the body couldn't digest that lab-grown meat. So.
Do you know, I saw a thing, and honestly, I thought it was a joke, and it wasn't. It looked like hamburger, and it said it was a Homo sapien.
I hope not.
As in a person?
Green, I hope not.
In a person. It's the question.
The person that they ground up like a hamburger meat and they were selling it.
Okay.
A human.
I heard there was a pet food. There was some pet food like that, but that may have been an urban legend.
I
This
did see
might have been an urban legend, but they had a whole rack of it. It was in another country.
Well,
And
that
I
may
was
be.
like, I'm cute just seeing it as food. Like hamburger.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, who are they doing this to? What bodies are they doing this to? People who have died of. Well, you know what? Even when they butcher cows, they don't care. A lot of them cows could be sick, dying, and they just grind them all up together. You know, especially in pet food. What do they have? They have dead, dying, disease, or 4D, dead, dying, disease. And there's one other one. And they throw all of that in with all the good parts of the cows and calves and chickens and the beaks and everything. They just grind it all up to make this pet food.
Egg
And I
price
feel so
is
What?
a dozen eggs were $6 this week.
Oh my goodness. I haven't had eggs in so long.
For
And
$3,
they were good. They're good
they were
protein. They were what?
They were $3 last week, and they were $6 this week. Because I just checked tonight.
Wow.
And I should have got those powdered eggs before they went back up to over $100. That Augustin Farm, one of them number 10 cans of powdered eggs. I mean, I don't think they're that great to eat, just plain. But if you want to bake cake or, put them in something, the powdered eggs are fine.
A cake mix will work without eggs. You put applesauce in it, and it will work. Cake mix does not need eggs.
Well, I'm just saying most people
I'm telling you how
put
to
eggs in.
do.
Can you do that with cornbread?
I don't
That's a good
know,
question.
but I'll try it.
That's
Try
a very
it
good
for
question.
sure, and let me know. Because I love cornbread. Of course, the corn crop got decimated too.
Well, you can make corn cakes like they used to in the olden days where it doesn't rise.
There's a lady that has a show called the Hillbilly Kitchen, I think.
You can make a cake.
I am subscribed.
What?
I am subscribed to her. The Hillbilly Kitchen.
Yep.
Yeah.
Me too.
She off the recipes. She lost her husband, 6 months ago?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Do you ever watch the ones that do Living on a Dime or Dining on a Dime? Tina got me and her those cookbooks.
Okay. No, I haven't.
What you can do without eggs, Debbie, you can make a baking powder biscuit.
Well, this cookbook I forgot I've had it now, but she tells you everything, how to make everything with just so many ingredients, and that takes less than 30 minutes. The Dining on a Dime, because it took her 25 years to write the cookbook, but she went back several generations and brought and included them.
Since I was 8 years old, and I learned from the old school. So
I used to cook all the time when I was little.
You can use baking powder instead of eggs.
Yeah,
but also
I've got
you
baking
can
powder.
applesauce instead of eggs.
People just have to know the difference between baking powder and baking soda.
They're two different things. I think if you put about a quarter teaspoon of baking powder and some applesauce, you probably get a nice corn cake. It might not be the cornbread you're used to, but it would probably fry up or bake up real nice.
We still have to have the cornmeal, though.
Yeah.
You know, I know there's a difference between baking powder and baking soda. I'm just saying some people might not realize that, and it could have disastrous consequences, you know.
Yeah, well, be hard as a rock, and you'll have to give it a stir. But also, if you've got the Bisquick, you can put some of your cornmeal in with your Bisquick and get a biscuit that also has cornmeal in it. But it wouldn't be the same as Southern cornbread. I'm not saying it would be, because I make the Bob Southern recipe on the bag. I know what real cornmeal and cornbread is, but you could use
some cream style corn too instead of eggs and milk.
Yep.
To make cornbread. But you mentioned the Bisquick mix. Amazon has it where all you have to do with Bisquick is just add water.
That's right. Most of them you don't just add. Most of Bisquick you still add the other stuff in it. Right, but it's got powder in it.
Yeah, but this is just add water only. And you can make your biscuits and everything.
Right.
Pretty. I mean, I'm trying to stock up on things that'll last, you know.
Right.
And even if I die, at least, my kids will live for a while. Well, my grandkids will.
So we're at different times.
Yeah. I haven't even heard from my grandkids or my daughter. Well, she came over early this morning when the water was making all that noise.
I hope they can solve that for you.
I don't know if I can flush the toilet or not. The tank is full of water in the back of it, but it's the water main that's coming in that's busted, but that doesn't mean that the water drain going out.
I would wait on until you get a plumber or a helper there.
Don't worry. My daughter and son-in-law would kill me if I didn't wait, and I wasn't allowed to do it.
You might be camping for a while.
Yeah. Or use me a composting toilet with all the and garbage bags.
Yeah. Or a little jar and just throw it out in the yard if it's just
right. Just throw it out in the yard. And they used to do that in the early days. Even when they first came over on.
Oh yeah, my shit's from 1749. I know.
Yeah.
I know.
And people would literally go nuts from the flies. Women,
you're not going to get cholera in one day. You're not going to get cholera in one day, so just be patient. There won't be a plague in one day.
No, but if it was summertime and you threw the urine right out in the yard, and then didn't like flies flying your foot in your face and in your mouth and everything else.
It wouldn't be the urine you have to worry about.
Oh no, I know that, but that did happen. They used to go out and dig a hole. At least they had read the Bible and they knew that God had, in the Israelite days, they were told how to dispose of any waste. They knew that. I guess they just didn't think urine was part of the waste.
Urine doesn't pose the same danger.
Urine is supposed to be pure, isn't it?
Well, it doesn't have the same danger, let's put it that way.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't want to drink it. So, is there any other people out here besides us?
I'm still here. I'm still here, even though y'all can't hear me. I'm still here. We've gone from
I'm 50.
one word.
I can hear everybody.
Really? I can't hear anybody but Pixie. Pixie, we're going to have to just exchange numbers.
Can everybody hear me?
I hear you now.
Oh, okay.
Wait, Lady, did you say you were there too?
Yeah. If she was here.
Okay, because I can't hear her at all. I'm sorry if I'm talking over you, Linda. I don't mean to be, but I can't hear you.
Yeah, I don't hear her now, so I was here.
That's okay. That's okay. I'm charging my other device, and I'll be calling in soon.
Oh, okay.
The brand you're using isn't on, is it? ONN.
No.
Somebody talking?
No, that's the TV.
Oh.
No, I keep forgetting about it.
I thought I just couldn't hear so you talking. And I was like, but Linda, the brand of your stuff isn't ONN, is it?
No.
Okay, well, don't buy nothing with that brand. Because I bought several things because they were lower price, but they were also very much lower quality. Like all the charging cords.
Right.
And I even bought some from Amazon and stuff and earbuds. I can't find any earbuds to fit my ears, or my ears are just really little. Maybe that's my problem. My ears are so small I can't hear even my own mouth. So I got a big mouth and little ears. You don't have to worry. You don't have to rush to agree.
No, I was going to say that maybe some smaller ones. That's all I was going to say.
You said we're going to say what?
I was just going to say maybe some smaller ones.
Yeah, I bought several. You're talking about the earbuds?
Yeah.
I bought all different kinds, and all of them are too big, and they just fall out. Even the ones that are on a, that are not just the wireless ones, but even the wire ones. I can't keep any of them in my ear. And even the ones that hook over your ear. Well, them I could do better, though, that totally hook around your ear.
And you try to follow they have and
yeah, because I bought some specifically because it had 3 sizes of cushions, and I thought, well, that's one of them bound to fit, but no, they didn't. And the thing is, I have to wear cotton in my ears a lot because my ears hurt. But then I did have hearing aids, and I couldn't even keep them in, and so that's just a pain. So that's why I like to have something that fits close to my ears so I can hear better.
Right. That's right. I can understand that.
Did Pixie leave?
I don't think so. Let me see. Dixie, did you leave?
Might fell asleep. Has anybody heard from Daniel? Still.
What you say?
Has anybody heard from Daniel?
I have not.
Linda, have you?
No, I have not heard from Daniel.
I wonder if he moved to Nigeria.
Nope. He would still be.
What?
Nope. Situations have changed.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
Again? Oh.
I don't know about
Well,
again.
is he still,
Situations. Last I heard, he wouldn't be doing that.
okay. I didn't think he would want to be that far from Savannah anyway.
Right. And that might be what's going on too. He might be getting some one-on-one time with Savannah now, because he was looking forward to some stuff going to happen in the future, that they were going to have some one-on-one time together.
Yeah, because her mama got remarried, right?
Right. And they planned this, to do this, and this might be the season for it. I'm not really sure.
Oh, okay. Well, if he would just text me, I mean, we text back and forth, and then he just like dropped off the face of the earth and didn't tell me. I mean, I knew some of it from being on here, but me and him also talked all the time too, I missed him.
Oh, yeah. So you and Daniel used to talk all the time, and you and who else? Did you mention something?
Daniel and Larry John Wayne, we were all real
Okay.
good friends. I was years ago when I first started getting out. Larry was already out, and then Daniel got out, and we just ended up on with Larry. At one time, we were talking about wanting to, and then we realized what we were talking about. We were saying, wouldn't it be neat if we had our own little community of ex-witnesses, and we all could live out on this big patch of land, and everybody grow their own food and trade back? What we were saying, and then Larry was like, yeah, and I could, be like, we were talking about having our own church and this and that, and then I'm like, Larry, we're talking about a commune here. I don't think we really want to do that because they seem much like another cult, So,
Thank you for saying that.
I see where people could see that might sound like a good thing in some ways it would be, but it would be good if everybody was the same way everywhere. Even though I don't believe in a one world government and a one world religion, it would still be kind of nice in another way. It's just people getting along. That's what it is, basically. People being nice to each other, helping each other, and things like that, just everywhere. If everybody could be like that. Actually, like what we call paradise is going to be like. Never mind, I'm just witnessing, I guess. It did sound good.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did.
I think that's the part that's the hardest. I never felt good about having to go through Armageddon and all these innocent people being killed by balls of fire, and things like that, and then burying bodies. And I never could understand that when we went out in service and stuff. I want that house, and I want that car, and I want that. And oh, I can't wait for Armageddon to come so I can have this and I can. And I'm just like, that is so sick-minded, to look at it like that. Yeah, let's kill this whole family so we can have their houses. That's exactly all it sounds like,
Yeah, it does.
Does anybody know how to get rid of a throat not get rid of my throat, get rid of the cut feeling? I have this all the time in my throat. I get ulcers.
I've never heard of such a thing.
I might ought to go to the doctor because I just felt a hard knot in that nose. Crap. Oh well. I think it's the weather.
Okay. It might feel like, yeah, I've never heard of that. Ulcers in your throat. That's interesting. I guess ulcers can show up almost anywhere, right?
Yeah. I think I'm allergic to something I'm eating.
That's possible.
Earlier, I was eating some tortilla chips, and my whole mouth felt like it was on fire.
Ah,
Yeah, plain old tortilla chips.
plain tortilla chips and your mouth felt like it was on fire?
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. That's not supposed to affect you that way. At all. At all.
Well, how I was thinking, and this might not make sense, but I was thinking, well, maybe there was something in my mouth and the salt from it, when it touched my mouth, salt is a healing agent, and I thought, well, maybe this is going to make my sore throat better, because I did have a sore throat already.
Okay, that makes sense.
But, so I was
picturing it happening in the mouth area as all the taste is happening. But do you feel like you have sort of? I was picturing it happening in the mouth where, like, your tongue and tastes and everything would be on fire. But you're talking about more or less your throat, where you feel you have ulcers.
No, it was my tongue, my cheeks, my throat, everything, and it's still hurting. It's been 2 hours.
Oh my! And do you think you have any cold sores?
No, I never get cold sores. I just get something in one of my medicines causes me to get thrush a lot.
Oh wow!
And I have to take that diflucan tablet, but then I need to get the swish and swallow. What is it? I can't remember what they call that. Miss Mary's mouthwash or something, because it helps coat your mouth and throat.
Okay. Wow, so plain tortilla chips, it burnt your mouth area, and it's still burning 2 hours later. But you're thinking the salt might be something that was hurting a sore kind of situation, right?
Well, my lips are still burning, and so is my tongue, but just not as bad. But my throat is burning real bad.
Oh,
Even as much as I'm talking, it's just making it hurt worse for me to talk. I need to shut up. In fact, I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to be quiet.
you're going to be quiet?
Yeah.
Are you hearing me any better?
Yeah, I'm hearing you way better now.
Okay, good, good. Okay. Does anybody else want to join us in this phone call? The number is 727 731 6. Okay, I'm giving the wrong number. I'm distracted. I'm so distracted. I hear somebody saying hello, and I can barely hear you. I'm going to be calling in a few minutes. The number I'm wanting to hand out is 727 731 6701.
Is Delon still on there?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Dylan. Hey, Dylan. I'm glad you're here. So I'm also going to put the number in the chat on YouTube. It's like I can hear a conversation happening really down low and really faint. Are you two hearing that as well? Okay.
I'll give you that in this one. Are you okay?
Hey, Delon, did you say you had your TV on?
Yeah, there's TV on time. You want me to turn it down?
I think that's what she's talking about hearing, because that's what I keep hearing.
I don't mind that. That's if I know what it is, I don't mind it. But if I think it's coming through the phone, I'm feeling like I need to hear it. So I'm really like trying to do bionic ear to hear it. So, which is silly.
Well, I can hear the same thing, and earlier she said it was just her TV.
Okay.
Yeah. You can talk about some other things and that. And right now you can hear really good, basically, right?
Are you asking me if I can hear you good?
Yeah.
I can hear you. This time of the night, I can hear people, but the words that they're saying seems muffled. So it's hard for me to understand what's being said. And that goes for like everybody usually. It's something about this time of the night after he's done all of the shows or something. That's the way it usually goes.
Are you watching TV, Delon? Or is it just playing? Because I keep wanting to say there's somebody talking too.
Yeah, it's just me and in the ground.
So I'm going to push the mute on StreamYard, and I'm going to call in on my other device right now. So give me a few minutes, ladies, and I'll be right in.
What are y'all doing this Christmas Eve? Anybody?
I'm not doing anything. Did you watch the show? I mean, the Christmas party?
Yeah.
That's all I've done was that Christmas party. I'm sitting here by myself as usual. My family are not Jehovah's Witnesses, but
Thank
I'm
God.
still here by myself. And I'm still by myself. It really don't matter, you know, because they're all busy with their own lives now, you know. I don't have any close friends around here. All my friends are on Facebook and Messenger, and then I have a church I go to online, and it's people. Have you ever seen Scott and Jody on Knowing God program? The line. Okay. Is anybody from Australia online?
No, I wish I'd been to Australia. Oh my gosh.
Hi, ladies. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
And now,
Woohoo! Is it much clearer now?
Yeah, it's way
Okay.
clearer.
I think I need to invest in more headphones then. Another pair. It's time.
yeah, we hung in there. We waited up.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
We did amazing. On our own. We love you, Linda.
Oh, thank you. I love you too, Dylan. I got to tell you, I got really jealous earlier. This is not usual terminology, but when Cultastic was on with Gail, I'm like, how did she get her? And I think I've tried to track her down and to get her to be on the show. But I've had a few, talking back and forth things with Cultastic Ryan. And so I just think she's so talented. When she first came on the scene, I said, you're like the Carol Burnett of apostasy. And she was so complimented, so complimented that I was thrilled that she knew, you know, because she looks pretty young. Like,
yeah,
and she was like, that's such a compliment. Oh, thank you, you know. And I'm like, yay, she knows who Carol Burnett is. But I love her comedy. And she's using comedy and educating. And so does Jay the comedian. And so does J.W. Thoughts, you know. They have that talented ability and at the same time getting to educate. And that's pretty cool. That's very cool.
Well, what happened to your sidekick, Greg? Was it Greg?
My sidekick?
The one that was on with you a lot. Wait, was that you?
Oh, that would be Pete. Pete, yeah.
Ooh, yeah, Pete.
Yeah,
I knew
Pete.
It was a four-letter name.
So his previous wife had died, and he was going through some depression, and I was going through my illness, and I have not tapped in to call him yet. So basically, I'm being a lousy friend to him, and I need to be a better friend. Give him a call and be like, "How are you doing?" You know, but I haven't done that yet.
It's easy to do that, unfortunately. For me to, like, I've got it on my list to say something to Christiane that I just realized, and Daniel, and then Pete, and I can't remember names very good, so if I make an extensive note, but Pete was XJW Curious, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And he started to make less and less videos, and somebody came along that's called XJW Furious with an F, and I was convinced that was Pete. And I'm like, Pete, is this you? He's like, no, it's not. I'm thinking, yeah, right, that's you. And I'm sure he's telling the truth, but I'm just like thinking, now that timing is kind of convenient. And when I was listening or reading the comments that he would leave, they were very similar to what comments Pete would leave, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So it could just be my imagination. And that's probably what it's supposed to mean.
No,
but I kind of think so.
What
are your...
I'm sorry, you guys. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, what are your plans for tomorrow, Dylan? Do you have any plans?
Yeah, we're going to get up in the morning, go to my middle daughter's apartment, and we're going to do some gift exchanges there. Everybody will get their gift, and yeah, so it's gonna be fun. I'm excited.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
and how is your grandbaby?
My youngest is 2.
Okay.
Mhm. And the baby, she's the baby. She's 8 months now, but she's the baby.
Oh, that's the one I must be thinking about.
Mhm. Yep. And then that's pretty much the area that we're gonna go over. It's like at home to calm the bike, calm the bike. Or,
You know what I wish I could. I miss having little ones around. I mean, I get tired of them and everything. I don't like the whining and the crying and all that other stuff. until I'm with them for a little while and get used to the noise, because living by myself, it's quiet. But now I do talk. I have to talk to somebody sometimes, so people outside probably think I have somebody living here, or that I'm just insane, because I talk by myself. You know, you start doing that when you get a certain age and have nobody else to talk. I talk to my cats. Do you know cats have different personalities just like kids?
Mm-hmm.
My cat Molly, she has to, they each have to have their own special time, and I know what each one of them wants at each time. Molly, she has to have so much time to cuddle and complain. That's what she does best. She tells me about everything. Honestly, that cat can speak English. I'm not kidding. She clearly says "mom," and she loves to have an argument. And she'll say yes, and I'll say no, and she'll say yes, and I'll say no, and then I'll say yes, and then she says no. It's funny, but we all have our little routines we go through. And I never knew cats were so, they love their humans, actually, you know, because they've done tests with cats, and like they've given them 4 choices. One will be their favorite food, one will be their favorite toy, one will be their favorite place to lay down, and one will be their human. And 90% of the time, when they have that choice, they pick their human. We don't know it, but we're really their pets.
No, George. Okay. I'm talking about George. I'm already claiming it. I'm sorry.
What?
Oh, I just didn't know I was claiming it before we get out in the land. I'm just claiming mine. I don't know my children.
Well, I'm gonna be quiet again. I'm gonna start 6 out of here.
Oh, I'm the same.
Okay.
What?
What did you say, Delon?
Oh, you're back. Okay, yeah. I am back. I do need to go to bed because my children.
It's Christmas tomorrow. People go to bed early. That's no problem. Thank you for chiming in, both of you. And Piggy, thank you for chiming in.
Here. Mm-hmm. It's 3 a.m., so I'm going to say good night and Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you too, Debbie. Good night.
I that celebration. Yeah, these weeks about Christmas, and enjoy your day, okay?
Okay, thank you, Delon. Thank you.
I love you. Okay.
Hey, Linda, what are you going to do?
I'm going to kick it with my friend tomorrow. So we're going to do some whatever comes to mind. Basically, moving stuff around, a little bit of furniture moving, and kind of just take the day as it goes.
Well, that's nice.
How about you?
Nothing. Just sit here again all day. Hopefully one of my grandkids will stop by and say hi or something.
Oh, I hope so.
I'm gonna give a few minutes to see if anybody else wants to chime in, and then if not, I'm gonna close the show up, and I think that that'll be perfect. You know.
All right. Well, I'm going to say good night.
Good night, Debbie.
Good night, everybody.
I love you, Linda.
I love you too, Miss Debbie, and I love you too, Delon. It's good to have friends like you too.
Love you too, Delon.
Oh, I love you too. I really
Can
do.
you feel the love tonight? I could tell I didn't know the tune
Oh,
as soon as they started singing
I love
it.
your song.
Oh, the one that you played earlier? Thank you.
Yeah. What was it about your baby, Mary? Did you know? Right?
Yes, Mary, did you know?
I love
yeah,
that
I love that
song. And how great
Tim
that
is
was.
in the room. We got Jerry and Tim. Hi, you guys.
Hey, Linda.
I'm looking at some people in the chat for YouTube. Saying hello, happy holidays, and happy Christmas, and all this other, good stuff. Both of them look like
Christmas.
What did you say? Oh, I hope I have it. Good Christmas. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. So I'm going to have the lines open for a little bit longer. If somebody wants to chime in and they're on the phone, you can push *6. And if you want to call in, you would call 727-731-6701. And when you get on the line, you would push *6 to be able to join me in talking. I'm still wide awake, so my energy level is good, because sometimes I just end up burning out. But yeah, if anybody wants to talk about what's going on with them this time of year for Christmas or any other subject, I'm open to all of it.
Open to it. I know that's right.
Is that you still there, Delon?
Yeah, I'm making all that crunchy noise.
Okay. Okay. Are you wrapping presents or opening up candy?
Opening up some candy.
Good for you. Good for you.
Yeah, I'm not wrapping nothing. They'll get my gift as it is. Nope. Oh.
Here it is, kid. Thank you.
You're 80. Able by sender. No.
Well, yes, and where is my kiss?
That's the wrong thing.
Exactly. When you originally came out of the organization, did you have some hesitation about celebrating Christmas?
Nothing.
Okay.
It never bothered me.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. I know some of us can, definitely have trouble with it and end up having it go against your conscience if you don't mentally be in a place where it's okay, But I'm glad to hear it wasn't a problem for you.
I'm definitely gonna not go against my. Well, I mean, if I have to, I will, but I'm hoping they don't. They have it on in a memorable way, I want it to be good for everybody. If he says it's true, it's probably it's true. when she said, excuse me, she can just say, excuse me. Or she can just in the hallway. Which one of these is she like that?
How do you guys work it out?
We work it out pretty good. It would be, the nucleus to fill another place, you know, and it would be, tell me what? Tell them what? No, I'm not. It may be work, but okay, but so I take my sleep med, right? I already took my sleep med.
Did you say you've taken? Did you say you've?
Huh?
Did you say you've already taken your sleep aid, like your medicine that helps you go to sleep? Oh, sister, we gotta say goodnight, because see, that stuff works like truth serum, and you start telling people stuff that they never need to know. Yes. So if that person just got done telling you, like, you should get off the phone or whatever, I won't always tell you this, but tonight they're right.
Right.
Tonight I need to let you go. Yes.
I don't know how long and what this is, how it's gonna go, but I know I'm gonna go back to Jimmy's place. I'm gonna suck around.
Yeah.
And I'll be gone.
Okie dokie. Yeah. So say good night and hang up your phone for me, love. Good night, sweetheart.
I'm gonna go sleep off my nightmares because I can't get to sleep on my own. I have to take something to help me go to sleep.
Well, yeah, your mind won't shut up. It keeps going and going. Yeah, so I understand. Just make sure you don't take it with like a muscle relaxer or like Xanax.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Bad mixes. Yeah, but you're not doing that, so that's all good.
Yep, no. I love y'all, and y'all do the same for Christmas Day. I'll tune in.
Okay. I don't know if we're doing anything tomorrow. I think he said that they're not going to do what they do at like every other Sunday. So I don't think we're doing anything tomorrow, but I could be wrong.
Okay. Well, I'll let you tell her, give him a pillow, and I am out. I love you guys.
Good. Merry Christmas to you too, Delon. Hang up the phone. Talk to you next time, good pretty girl.
Okay, honey. See y'all next time, okay?
Okay, good night.
Okay, good night. Bye-bye.
Bye. I'm wanting to hear the phone hang up. So I'm noticing in the chat that there's a little bit of chat going on. So Sherry, I believe, is in the chat saying, Carrie Lynn Adams, I need to know if I'm channeling the right person who is not convincing me that the 8, ATE, and then after that, I think she wrote something wrong, and then, all right, good night, all. Is this the man I reside with? True for my and his best? Delon, would this be you? Are you on here on the YouTube chat through using the name Sherry, Cheri? I've been full of love, and my truth is a blessing, and I wake up to the chatter of conviction. Okay, it is you, darling. Okay. You're so funny. You were so funny, woman. Okay. Oh, goodness gracious. Yeah, this time of year is pretty unique. And so, like, it didn't hit me until the show before this one that our next show is not going to be until, I believe, next year. So this is like one of the last shows of the year. So if anybody wants to call in, please do. And if you're wanting to talk about anything Christmassy, we can. Or if you want to just talk about anything else on your mind, I'm open for that. The number is 737 731. Oh, I said that wrong. It's 727 731 6701. And when you call in, if you want to join the conversation, you would push *6, and that will have you join me in conversation too. So far, we've had a few shows that happened today, and but the center show was our Christmas show that Rick was hosting. And what was one of the things that was really nice about it today was that his wife Susan was on there, and he said this a few times. He said this was the first time he's had his wife by his side in 8 years. I mean, I've seen her there a couple of times, but she, you know, tonight she looked real pretty. She had her hair all done up, and you know, it was just beautiful seeing her sitting next to him. I mean, he always looks good by himself, but just watching her sit next to him was really, really nice. You know, she's had some struggles with her jaw, and it's been extremely painful for her, and a few other health conditions. And between pandemic and those conditions, it's been like, it seems like it would have been a long process to get whatever needed to be done medically. But it seems like because of the pandemic, it's just extended it even longer. And I had heard that there would be times when it was just so painful for her mouth to be in pain, for her to talk or eat or anything. So I know she's gotten better because she'll come on and just be like, "Can I say something?" And here she is on the show, right? And she's been quite the chatterbox, which I've been super happy about, because that right there shows how much she has healed. And I didn't realize it was that long, that she has been struggling with these things. And it just must have seemed forever for her to be going through these things. So I've been really glad about Susan showing up in the chat. And I think that the times that I've had to, or I've had the chance to be on here and to speak with this audience has been really fun for me, and getting to share the things that I have wisdom about or that I need to still learn. It comes with ease to share my wisdom, but it also comes with ease for me to ask people what they're talking about, because they're sharing things that I'm very naive about or just plain old ignorant, and that's been enjoyable too, getting to learn through people that have called in throughout the years. It's been so I'm getting to give through this, platform, through Rick's platform of 6 screens, through this show called Healing After the Watchtower, and then I'm getting to receive too. And so those both of those things have been really enjoyable. And I've been thankful for some of the feedback I've been getting too. Every so often, just miscellaneously, I'm getting feedback from somebody, and it's been really positive. And I just want to thank you guys for that too. These shows have been the highlight of my week, and I really, really look forward to them. And since somebody is not getting ready to call in, I think I'm going to call it a night. Here in Southern California, it is 1:11 a.m. Today is December 25th, 2022. This is Christmas Day. So I'm looking forward to New Year's, and I want to encourage you all to be safe for New Year's. A lot of times people are setting off fireworks. So, plan to wherever you're going to spend time with friends to, kind of stay there. I want to encourage you to stay the night rather than getting up and driving. But, you do you. And just keep in mind, let me just also add this. What is it called when the cops have a road check or whatever, like they get everybody to pull over and you don't know they're doing a road check? And I don't even think I'm using the wrong terminology, but they'll get everybody to pull over to see if someone has been drinking, which is pretty practical. And but unfortunately, if your tags aren't paid up, or you might have a ticket that maybe you didn't even know about, you'll get to find out about it that night. And that's not always a good night. So, whatever you choose to do for New Year's, just plan it to wherever you land, just kind of stay there if you can. I think it's just much safer that way, because there will be people on the streets that night drinking and driving. And things are so unpredictable when that's happening. There'll be the fireworks that were, planned on being shared during the, the midnight time of the New Year's. But then there'll be a few miscellaneous ones that are still, leftovers that somebody's going to just pop that one too. And that's pretty distracting when you're driving as well. So I just want to say thank you for being this audience, and thank you for coming to this show, Healing After the Watchtower. And I think I'm going to let you all go for tonight. And I will talk with you next time. This is Apostate Linda James, your favorite apostate. And I will catch you on the next show. Thank you. Good night.
Welcome into the live 6 Screens conference calls. We thank you for joining in. To speak up and talk, press *6 on your telephone. When you are done talking, press *6 to mute yourself. Remember, when you are unmuted, your phone is a microphone and picks up on all noises in the background. We hope you enjoy the programs tonight. You will now be placed into the conference.
Muted.